Hello everybody and welcome here on this beautiful Saturday evening. Today we will have the Division 3 and Division 2 finals to nearly round us out. We only have Division 1 and Division 1 plus left then for tomorrow. And today for the Division 3 finals I will be joined first of all by the one guy who put his hands up for a lot of this season, Aviator. He casted a lot of one of them. Hands up. Welcome. And
yeah, thank you very much, Sammy.
The second one who will join us here today, he won Division 6 and now he is here to prove his thesis of clownability. Welcome, Nos.
Thank you very much, Samuel. I'm delighted to be here for what should be a spicy Division 3 final.
Indeed. As we already mentioned, we have HandsUp going up against Svens Angels. They both made it here in quite an interesting way. When we have a look at the bracket, we do see that on the side of HandsUp, how did it go there, Avi?
So they obviously finished top in Division 3 as well, and then so obviously top seed going into it, they chose to face the lowest seed, Sardines in a Can. They 3-0'd them. Then yesterday they had their semi-final and they 3-0'd Norweaklings, so they're yet to drop a map leading up to this as well.
Indeed, and looking a little bit through their picks, they have a lot of May on their side, but then already on the second spot tied, we do have the Anna Lucio, and then on the first spot, Kastia Hansa, so a lot of flexibility, a lot of high priority picks for them coming in. Is this a thing they generally did over the season, having a lot of different picks? Or was it...
Yeah. They just have like the kind of core draft idea, and they just execute it continuously in that sense. They've always got bases in mind. This one team, they don't tend to care about the top meta picks. Like they let Rhaegar through yesterday. They didn't really care about it. They let her through every single time. They were a team that let Valor through when Valor was low-key broken as well. So they just don't seem to care about it. They just seem to think whatever they draft against us, we'll ban what we don't like, and we'll just deal with it.
Indeed. Also looking at the maps, there is no Infernal Shrines and some people are happy about it. Josh. But the other maps, another very prominent map, I have to say, Battlefield of Eternity is really a standard for them. So very teamfight heavy, Dragonshire, very rotate heavy, and then also Towers of Doom. So they seem to like those team fights, do they?
Yeah, they do excel in macro though. I think that's their strongest point. I know they BOE, but they just do the wacky rotations as well. Like on Dragonchild, they prioritize top lane and all sorts of stuff as well. They just kind of catch you off guard and then just try and punish you. They find an opening and they just try and snowball the game.
Alright, snowballing the game sounds like a very well do how to win games, but let's see if they will be able to do that against their opponents today, as they are going up against the Svens Angels. How did they come here, Nos?
So Svens Angels actually finished 7th in the regular split, giving themselves a bit of a tougher task to get to the finals. But quarterfinals against the Battle Beast boys, they came out with a pretty clean 3-0 victory. And then on Wednesday, they went up against Just Cause in the semi-finals, where they won 3-1. They had a weird draft in game 1, which didn't work out too well for them. But once they cleaned up their drafts a little bit, games 2, 3, and 4, they looked pretty dominant. So definitely coming in good form for this final.
Indeed. Looking also at the most picked heroes, we do see the Hansa really high up that list. So even though he has dropped a little bit, we do have him right up there together with another stunning hero, Anu Barak, and then on the third spot, we do even have a three-way tie this here with the Casters, also another really stable DPS, and then Anduin and Brightwing. So a lot of healers really high up in damage. So is their offlane more of a flexible pick, or is there just also 1-2 heroes they prefer quite a lot?
So they actually have a record of 7 wins and 0 losses on Rexar this season, and I got to cast these guys on Wednesday. They pulled out the Rexar twice and obviously won with it both times, considering they have that 100% record. It looked very strong for them. You also mentioned the Hanzo and Nubrak. This was something that they paired up on multiple occasions on Wednesday evening, just having this big engage coming in from a Nubrak, follow it up the Hanzo Arrow, and I think they even had Anduin with a light bomb a couple of times as well, just getting these really clean CC chains. So that was kind of what was working really well for them. Their Hannes, the tank for Svens Angels, played really well on that occasion. Both on a Nubrak and Blaze, he was setting up multiple kills for his team. So this sort of CC chain seems to be something that works really well for them. And then in terms of healers as well, you mentioned the fact that they have a pretty wide hero pool. They actually played double support on a couple of occasions on Wednesday night, getting their hands on Rhaegar twice and running double support on both occasions. So that is potentially something we could be looking out for this evening.
Indeed, and also when we look at the pocket picks, they also have the Junkrat really high up the list, so both teams do be able to play Junkrat. Do you guys expect that he will be a high priority in terms of banning and picking?
Yeah, I think both teams will prioritize the Junkrat. I think Svens Angels will prioritize Rhaegar over the HandsUp as well. I did see some of that match as well. HandsUp also played double support, so I'm just really excited. I think both drafts will be really good from both sides. So yeah, both teams have a sort of understanding of drafting at least, and yeah, I just can't wait to see what happens actually.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the Junkrat priority will be like, considering he did get nerfed on this patch. In both semifinals, he did seem to be still getting nerfed a lot, but the move of Big Az going to level 13, meaning you can't have that and the double traps, it has made it a little bit more awkward for Junkrats, I think, and he's lost a little bit of power there, but obviously still a very powerful pick, especially on our first map, which is Infernal Shrines.
And talking about the patch, we also have put Rhaegar there for Svens Angels in the pocket picks, as against Just Cause, they pulled him out 2 times in the semifinals.
They did double support as well, running with Hanzo as the hyper carry, which was something we haven't really seen too much. You think normally of the likes of Lunara, Cassia, Vala, but going for the Hanzo this time, as I mentioned, and again with this new Brack engage, just nothing was dying. They had this unkillable Diablo as well with this double support with the Rhaegar backing it up. I think they had a Divine Shield and an Ancestral for their Vala on BOE as well, so that Vala was free to do whatever they wanted, and they managed to carry that game. So I will be interested to see if Rhaegar gets let through. I think he is so strong right now. If you look at the Storm League data so far, he has like an 80% involvement on this patch with a nearly 65% win rate, which is obviously insane. So I don't expect to see too much of the doggo this evening, but we will see if the teams decide to chance letting him through.
Indeed, and as you already mentioned, we do have Infernal Shrines as our first map pick. We go over here. We do.
Unfortunately,
go ahead.
Unfortunately for Yosh, it is going to be Infernal Shrines for map number 1. Both these teams have played it a lot in the regular season. I mean, every team I think has to play Infernal Shrines at least once or twice in the lounge season. I think it's just
it's written into the laws of the
it has
rules,
to be.
Isn't it? We even made it once. It's normally our permaban, but we let it through once, and
it got picked.
And it got picked, of course. So
yeah, but then we won't see any. We won't see Sky Temple. We won't see Towers of Doom. We won't see Alterac Pass. We won't see Garden of Terror. So lots of the larger maps kind of gone. You will have Cursed Hollow available, Dragonshire as well. Sky Temple was picked against HandsUp yesterday, and they just destroyed on it. They lost the early game a little bit, and then they just were never behind. They took all 3 forts in the same time, and it was just such a snowball map.
Indeed, it can be. It's the beauty of it sometimes, you know. Gotta get this snowball in. Talking about snowball, Battlefield of Eternity is left open, so maybe this one will be one. Also with the new fountain changes which hit us this week, so last weekend in the playoffs this was not yet the case. This week you can no longer hit the fountains, therefore the forts and keeps do have a little bit more HP to make up for the lost HP in terms of structures overall. And it's gonna be crucial if we do see, we just talked about it, we do have Volskai also, but let's go into draft number 1.
Draft number 1 on Infernal Shrines. So will be interesting to see which teams come out on top here and which heroes they do prioritize. The likes of Diablo, Kerrigan, Sylvanas, maybe less meta picks, but gain a lot of value on this map. But we are going to start off with the very standard Junkrat ban.
Yeah, instantly they ban it first though, which means they don't want to play it. So they're kind of showing their hand a little bit as well. They just think, nope, we don't want to play it. It's not in our draft mind for this map, so they're just going to get rid of it. And that's what I meant about them earlier. They just, some things they'll just ban, other things they'll just completely let through.
Maybe they have something cheeky up their sleeves as well. A lot of the times in a best of 5, if you want to try something a little bit cheesy, you kind of kick it off in game 1 and then force your opponents to say, do we want to deal with this again? Do we have a way we can deal with this again? Or do we just want to ban the cheese? We do see now Maiev ban coming out for Svens Angels. Anybody who watched the cast last night on Aviator Channel would have seen Maiev going in with this crazy draft on Battlefield of Eternity, which was very, very effective. And then the other ban that's coming through is that Rhaegar. Again, on the first pick side, banning the Rhaegar, bit of an interesting one. Maybe they're not too comfortable and they've seen that Svens Angels can play the doggo.
Yeah, I wonder if Uther's going to be banned here, because they do like playing the double support as well with that Uther main tank. But no, they're going to ban the Johanna instead. I think Johanna at the moment is pretty strong. as well. Most games go to 20. 20 for the sword is just kind of legit OP. But no,
HandsUp is going to be the first pick. Interesting.
Even though you have to say the 20 Falling Sword has been nerfed a little bit. But in the meantime, betting is set up as well. So if you think Svens Angels will win game number 1, exclamation mark, bet A in the number of points you want to bet on them. Or exclamation mark, bet B if you rather put your hands up for HandsUp.
And Nubrak and Stukov is going to be the reaction from Svens Angels. Stukov obviously has been a menace all season. Very, very strong. Low blow at level 1 has proven to be a very strong talent. And it's excellent follow-up for that Nubrak engage. So very standard opening from Svens Angels, in my opinion.
Yeah, but the May URL was insta-locked as well by HandsUp. They're wasting no time at all discussing it. They've got their plan. I'm just going to go for it. But yeah, I love the Nubrak with Stukov. It feels so toxic if Stukov gets that low blow. When it expands as well, is it post 7 or 13, whenever it is? And you just feel like you can never escape it. You're just sort of trapped in that pool.
Yeah, especially with a Nubrak as the CC bot that he is. It is going to be a Tychus ban coming out here from HandsUp. I like this a lot. It would have been a fantastic way to shred down that May and the URL, and obviously a really good just single target burst, which is what you usually want with something like a Nubrak and a Stukov. So smart bans coming out from HandsUp.
Indeed, for now, HandsUp, they have the arrow, they have Ice Wall, so already quite some good tools. For Svens Angels, what will be coming out from them as the next two picks? They've picked up the tank and healer, so there's the first damage, and the offlane, the Leoric and the Jaina.
I want to know now is, have either of these teams practiced any Probius? Because Probius is another one who seems to be doing pretty well after the new patch. And if there's any map you're going to pull it out on, I would say it is Infernal Shrines. We do see Jaina locked in for Svens Angels, so that's their mage pick locked up already. So don't expect to see it from them, but maybe HandsUp have it prepared. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I think they'll just stick to standard stuff. But what I do like on the Mephisto as well, they played this exact draft without the URL on. They played it with an offlane Johanna instead on Volsky Foundry yesterday. And the way they use the Ice Wall, they don't use it as an engage or a setup. They literally use it as terrain to then use the Hanzo Dragon Strike arrow on top of it. And it's really clever. Yeah, it's. I haven't seen it before, but they just literally use it as terrain, and you just can't escape the Dragon Strike. And Mephisto level 20. I mean, it's
pretty disgusting.
But Cassia to round it out.
Cassia, yeah.
I don't know. I think for me, I think HandsUp have the draft, but what will Svens Angels do to decide it? I mean, as long as they get the engage onto Anna, the cocoon onto Mephisto as well is always really nice, obviously. And we don't have a huge amount of... they do have Anna to break it, obviously.
Yeah, but that's about it, really. It's just Anna and Mephisto. Obviously, HandsUp so slow damage a lot of the time, especially if he doesn't go for something like Redemption at level 1, which we don't expect to see, I think it's fair to say. On Infernal Shrines, you would normally see the Q or W builds coming out, and it's not that tanky of a front line for Svens Angels, so I don't think Redemption would be necessary here. But yeah, coming out of the draft, I'm not too sure who I favour, to be honest. I think both teams have drafted very well. Both teams seem to have drafted comfort. So it is going to come down to execution, more likely.
Indeed. I do have to say, on the side of Svens Angels, they have a noob cocoon and they have the Cassia Valkyrie against the Mephisto. So when Mephisto ports in, he gets cocoon and then pulled out. I feel like that's the way of try to punish the Mephisto from going in. And then there comes in HandsUp's draft with May and Ural. They can create the space for him to be safe. But anyways, let's go into the game. AV and Nos, take it away.
Thank you very much, Samu. On the left-hand side, in the blue corner, we have Svens Angels with Rich playing the Jaina, Rudashu on Leoric, Riskaka on the Cassia, Sarang on the Stukov, and Darhanis on a Nubrak. Ladies and gentlemen of Twitch chat, show some love for Svens Angels.
On the right-hand side for HandsUp, we've got blah 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 on the Hanzo, Calypso on the Anna, Artanis playing May, Caesar on Mephisto, and Squeaky on the Goat, the URL in the top lane. So, game one, Nos, what are we expecting to see? Are we expecting to see them fight right off the bat? Are we going to see them split up? It looks like HandsUp don't really want to engage anything yet.
Well, we're looking at level 1 talents. We do see 2 crests for both sides. Well, 1.5, I suppose. Jaina obviously has to stack her level 1 quest, the Ice Block, which is now only 12,000 damage required to stack rather than the old 15. So a significant buff, in my opinion. And I think it will raise the value of Jaina. It is going to be a bit of a more passive start, though, coming out from HandsUp. They do get 2 stacks on the HandsUp W quest. But that's all it's going to be for now. As we do see an engage going in. Darhanis does catch out the Mei, Artanis, and Darhanis, the 2 tanks. That's not going to get confusing, I'm sure. But Mei is able to walk away for now. Pretty tanky, that Mei.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a good engage onto the Mei, but she pops her trait, gets healed up by Anna, and just walks away full HP, basically, at that point as well. Now, Yrel obviously out-rotating the arc at the moment, but now the engage is going to come down on Yrel. There's going to be the double sunlock coming down, and then the silence on the ground as well, and it looks like Yrel is going to go down. No, the jump coming out, and Anna able to hit those healing darts, able to keep Squeaky alive.
Clutch heals coming out from Calypso on that Anna, and somehow Squeaky manages to walk away. It looked doomed for the Yrel, but fantastic engage coming in. Now they have their eyes on Caesar in the spot lane, but the Mephisto is just about able to escape. As we do see first blood in the top lane, a solo bolo for Rutashu. Leoric getting the first kill of this series.
And that's the thing we'll see often is Squeaky dying in the 1v1. That's a standard thing for HandsUp, unfortunately. But we see the red team, they're not going to let it phase them. They're going to take their camp. They're not going to lose any experience either. Artanis going top on that Mei, making sure to soak it. But the blue team, they did take the bottom neutral camp. And now they're going to siege up as well.
That they did. They have their eyes set on this bottom tower of this front lane, which they do take. Only a small bit of an XP advantage for them now, about half a level or so, which completely insignificant at this stage of the game, and it does mean that they get their level 4 talents. Looking kind of standard across the board. Neil Peasants on 4, a little bit weird for Leoric these days after his kind of mini rework, getting that as basically a baseline talent these days. Apart from that, though, looking pretty standard across the board for both teams, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% so. Mephisto's build I'm interested in to see is a different one we were using on Volsky yesterday. This tends to be the more sort of commonly used now in Storm League. I see this one a lot more with the Q1-1. And you just get a lot of burst, especially once you've completed it, basically.
Yeah, and I suppose when they don't have... actually, I was going to say they don't have that much burst damage to get the spell armor from W that you would see quite often. But we do obviously have Jaina on the other side, which... I mean, if there's anyone who can burst you down with spell power, it is the Jaina. So potentially we will see that as an adaptation. That being said, though, it is looking like a more Q-focused build at the moment. And this first shrine is spawning in the top altar. It is going to be an Arcane Punisher. Darhanis looking for an engage onto Caesar, who can just walk away from now. Nice stun coming out from the Mei, but not too much follow-up there for anything to worry for Svens Angels.
You know, Yrel actually opting to double soak as well, so they are going to give this objective. They just want to try and poke and harass a little bit, it seems. And they're going to happily give the first one.
Looks like it. All right. Artanis, though, going in on the Mei, does have her unstoppable and her trait. She is going to be silenced, though, taking a lot of damage, and that is going to be the first kill of this team fight, going over to the Cassia. Nice kill going over to Svens Angels as they get their second kill of this game.
Yeah. I was just describing their game plan of, Yrel's going to double soak, they're not going to engage, and then straight away Mage just goes in. I'm not too sure about that. I think harassing them is fine, but I think Mei overcommitted there, unfortunately. It was always a nice save from Anna again, but the silence from Sukov was just on point.
Just a little bit too powerful. So now they are going to have this Arcane Punisher pushing in on the top lane. They do have their level 7s as well, so potentially a nice little window for them to try and just probably get this front wall. Obviously, the days of being able to snipe the well with the first Punisher are unfortunately over. So that is not going to be an option for them here. So probably just going to be the front wall. We do see they have also sent Leoric to do a bit of double soaking, as you would expect, and this early Punisher is dealt with pretty easily by HandsUp.
Yeah, so they lose the wall, but they're even in experience as well. They haven't really lost anything. And as you mentioned with that well, just the fact that they have that well now for the next time as well, and no one can snipe wells with the camps either, it's all going to have an impact on shrines. Because a lot of the time you take the mid camps and just try and give vision to the well. So it's going to be interesting how a shrine sort of plays off with it, really.
Yeah, that's something I actually haven't thought about at all. Every map is going to have small little things like that which will be changed. Volskaya in particular is one that we talked about earlier, where normally you just want that first protector to go straight to that top wall. Well, what do you do with the first Punisher or the first objective now? Because I feel like it's useless enough as it is.
You just give it.
Yeah. What will not be given over is this siege camp in the mid lane. We do see a nice invade coming out from Svens Angels, and they will take that away from their opponents. So double stacking waves in this mid lane as they try to maybe break open the front wall there too.
Yeah, Squeaky needs to be a little bit careful on that URL, because he senses that everyone's in the bush just waiting for him, so backs out nicely. Now, again, they're even inexperienced. They're down 2 kills. They're down an objective, so it's not all over them. As we've seen, engage coming down onto Rich here as well, onto that Jaina, and the Jaina does fall down. The Fists are going in as well, trying to harass the Stukov, and they do secure the kill. That's 2 quick kills for HandsUp. The Sleep Dog connects as well onto that Cassia. The Tannis goes in on the Mei. Musashi comes down on the Leoric now as well, trying to peel for them. And it looks like the Cassia will escape. But that's 2 quick kills on the board now for HandsUp and an early level 10.
Fantastic fight coming out from the team in red. They get their first 2 kills of the game. They are on the board, and as you mentioned, level 10s are here. We do see it is going to be nano boost for the Ana. No surprise there. Ice Wall coming out from the Mei. It's Endurance of Hatred for Mephisto, Ardent Defender for Yrel, and HandsUp currently holding his ultimate. What are you expecting to see here from the HandsUp? What do you think? It's going to be Dragon Strike. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Dragon Strike. There's the wall. There's the Endurance of Fate coming out, and where's the Dragon Strike? And there it is. And it just does. It did a lot of damage, but they do take down the Cassia as well. Blah blah blah. Needs to jump out. The HandsUp gets out with 300 HP. Rosashi going on Maloric. They want to try and get that kill. Lands the drain. Meanwhile, Jaina does go down in the back. Anna just trying to keep them alive. Walking in a straight line. Doesn't save the HandsUp, but it looks like Rosashi should fall on the Leoric as well.
Yep, that is going to mean that this is going to be a
3 for 1.
3 for 1. Yeah, I can do math. I swear. 3 for 1 going over to the side of HandsUp. As this level 10 seems to be benefiting them slightly more. They got a huge wombo combo down to win in that bot lane team fight, and with this mid lane frozen Punisher now spawning, potentially a danger as sirens going off for Svens Angels.
Yeah, and this is weird, because HandsUp are already even in experience, getting those kills as well has now netted them a full level ahead, which means that the blue team, Svens Angels, they're going to have to try and get level 13 to contest this as well, because halfway through this objective, HandsUp will be hitting level 13.
Yeah, I would say 13 doesn't seem like the biggest power spike for HandsUp, so it is potentially something that you can fight into. That being said, they're taking their fight now before that level 13 hits. Big root goes down from the Mephisto, and that is going to mean 1 dead Cassia. Nice peeling coming out from the side of the Mei as well with the big ice wall, and that is going to mean this is another quick 2 kills going over to HandsUp.
Yeah, they're just executing their ults perfectly. It's the ice wall using as terrain. The Cassia gets hit with the Endurance of Hate. The HandsUp Dragon Strike on top of it, and they're just dead. There's just nothing they can do. There's no cleanse, nothing like that to deal with it. So they're just getting run down essentially. As long as that Endurance of Hate connects, then it looks like it's all over in these team fights.
Yeah, and it was hitting on multiple targets in both of those team fights as well. And obviously Cassia, when she is rooted, she is so squishy. She loses all of that armor, and all of a sudden she is a sitting duck. And a fantastic follow-up. Again, with that Dragon Strike, no longer as much of a meme talent as it used to be, as you can clearly see. It's been put to great effect here by HandsUp.
Yeah, and Punisher nicely baited over. It's HandsUp again, they're just opting to soak lanes, excuse me, at the moment. But they are going to try and contest for this fort. They should try and get a fort with this. I mean, it's a frozen Punisher. They've got a talent advantage. The Endurance of Hate connects as well. Mephisto now trying to harass them. There's the terrain block again, using that ice wall. The Entomb in the backside onto 3 members here, but the Dragon Strike comes through, connects onto Sarang, onto that Stukov, 100 HP, and Squeaky secures the kill. But it doesn't look like May's going to go down, but Leoric goes down in the back as well. Bit of a chaotic fight, fighting on 2 fronts over here, but it seems that HandsUp will come out victorious.
Indeed they will. They get the 2 for 1, they get the mid lane for it, and they get themselves a level and a half lead just 9 minutes into this game. They have their eyes now focused on this siege camp as they look to just keep up that pressure in the mid lane. Obviously keeping that mid lane push, it gives them a huge advantage in terms of the rotations that they can take, the amount of vision on the map that they will have. So getting this mid lane priority is going to be key for them to hold on to this lead.
Yeah, 9 kills against 4, level 16 on the horizon for HandsUp. It's not over yet for Svens Angels, though. You know, Imperial Shrines is such a balanced map in the sense that there's always a chance. You know, you get a team fight, you get an objective, and you run it down to core.
Yep, and 16 is going to be a huge power spike for Svens Angels, I would say as well. Jaina getting like any of her level 16 talents are all kind of insane. We'll get Leoric getting the extra cooldown on his E. As we do see now, the wombo combo goes down again. Riskaka dropping super low, but Caesar is going to be the first one to fall on this Mephisto. Artanis dropping super low on the May as well, but manages to land a huge stun. Not going to be enough to keep her alive. On Calypso now is in serious trouble as we get a huge entomb and the follow-ups from the Stukov. That is going to be a 4-0 in favor of Sven's Angels.
And we were just talking about it. One team fight. That's all they needed to win. And they're going to be even in experience. That was such a nice engage. It looked good for HandsUp as well. It looked like they're going to get the turnaround, but they just didn't have it. If level 16 was there with piercing arrows, I think HandsUp cleans up. But without that level 16, great fight from Sven's Angels.
Indeed, and they will wrestle back a lot of control from the map now. They get that bottom fort, which is where the next shrine is going to be spawning as well. It is going to be a mortar shrine for the next one, which obviously does a lot of structure damage. So if they can win the next objective and open up that bot lane keep, giving themselves a win condition, they might have a way back into this game. But Rich dropping super low, nice Journeys of Hatred. That means that the Sarang has to commit his ultimate on the Stukov, and that is going to be the end of this fight. No blood being spilled, but a lot of ultimates being used.
Yeah, Journeys of Fate was committed to. Obviously, it is quite a low cooldown there with that spite as well. Oh no, it's just basic abilities, is it? I thought Mephisto had a thing where the ult gets. Maybe it's just basic abilities. Oops.
Yeah, that is.
Intruder coming down on the top side again with that silence on top of it, cheating that level 20. No need for that buried alive. They're just making it happen with that Stukov, and Arizashu's just chasing them down as well, chasing down the Mephisto. Doesn't have Entomb available anymore, obviously, but that's another quick kill for Sven's Angels.
Yep, they have reached that level 16 power spike as well. We do see its numbing blast coming out for the Jaina, which will, of course, root any targets which are chilled. Fantastic way of following up with that lockdown that they already have with the Nubrak and the Stukov. Also, big power spike for the Cassia as well, getting static electricity on level 16. Not to mention the ominous Wraith and Royal Focus combo for this E-build Leoric, who now they have their eyes set on 20 as well, I think. When you get the silencing Entomb, but before that, they have to get 2 more levels, and that can start with this objective. They have a nice lead, 13-14 now to 3. Bit of a difficult situation for HandsUp to step into this composition as well, I would say.
Yeah, it's already, and the silence on the ground again, and May walks into it, and unfortunately just gets absolutely clapped for it. Entomb comes out on the back, in the back line of the HandsUp here, but the silence on the ground as well, and that's going to be Anna falling down. Quickie does jump away on the Urel. Hands are able to get out as well. But it's 2 kills for nothing again. It looks like HandsUp just sort of weren't communicating correctly there. There was miscommunication. They thought they were going to go, and they didn't. And yeah, not quite sure what's happening with them. The wheels are coming off.
This seems to be a very momentum-based game. Early game, Sven's Angels seem to be coming out on top. Then all of a sudden, HandsUp are winning every fight. And now, at the flick of a switch, Sven's Angels seem to have that momentum back in their favor again. Let's bear in mind as well, this is a final for both of these teams. I'm not too sure how much playoff experience they have, but potentially this could be their first time ever playing in a final, which brings with it its own pressure, its own mental fortitude that is going to be necessary to get a win. As we do see Squeaky coming in for a bit of a flank, but will be immediately cocooned. It's going to force a reaction, though, from Sven's Angels, which takes them away from this fort for now.
I mean, he can't even press his buttons. He tried, couldn't press it. The Journeys of Fate comes out as well to try and peel. But Urel, they just can't play the game.
They just can't play the game. Artanis is going to have to scoot away to safety for now on that May, and that is going to be that first keep of the game will go over to the side of Sven's Angels. Artanis on the May, baiting the Punisher away from the core for now, but that is not disturbing Sven's Angels. Actually, it is, as they will back off now. Probably wisely, I think. Just wait for level 20, maybe take a look at this mid lane for it, and I think from this position you can kind of play it slow and just play with map pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a sensible decision to back out from core. I think that was definitely a clownable attempt had they gone for it there.
Everything is clownable. That is the special theory of clownability, after all, which I am all too familiar with, having won the first 2 games of our Heroes Lounge final this season, and then utterly clowning games 3 and 4. I can tell you that everything is clownable, especially in a lounge final.
Yeah, I mean, it all can be. I've seen it before where teams are up and then they get reverse swept. You know, we've seen it all before here. In terms of experience for these 2 teams, this is Sven's Angels' first season in Heroes Lounge. Most of these players haven't played in Heroes Lounge before. A couple of them have. I recognize a few of the names. But HandsUp, they've been in a couple of finals and they've lost. So I think they're really hoping that they get their the finest plastics or whatever it is nowadays.
It's actually made of metal even these days. They've upgraded to these fantastic metals. I know. We're Reformed Lounge. Speaking of Reformed, Yrel here, I don't think she's going to be able to reform because she's going to be dead. Miss Squeaky does get silenced. The Silence Entomb, the Stukov Silence does manage to get her absorbing, though just in the nick of time. And now the counter engage comes in from HandsUp. They already get the kill onto Leoric, and they are looking for more. Or are they? No, I don't think they are. I think they're happy to just get that one kill. Level 20 advantage still there for Sven's Angels. But level 20 now just around the corner for HandsUp.
Yeah, and level 20 is going to be big for them. They're going to have that Bullseye on Hanzo, that additional... Oh, no, sorry, not Bullseye. They've got the Dragon Awakens. So it means that basically Hanzo has no CDR on his ult. He's no CD on his ult.
Yeah.
English is hard sometimes, Nos, okay?
I know. You're telling me? I trip over my words more than... I can't think of anything that trips, so... but yeah, level 20, big power spike for both teams, I would say. Who would you think has the bigger advantage, though, coming out from these level 20 talents?
I do really want to say that the Endurance of Hate upgrade, the Dragon Awakens, the Nano Infusion as well. Yeah. Seraphim as well this time, so Squeaky might be able to pop off that Unstoppable as well, to be able to get his ult off when because he seems to be the focus at the moment on that URL. But on the other side, you've got the Infinite Balls, you've got the Rewind from Anubrak. I think both 20s are so good.
Yeah, they really, really are. So it is going to come down to execution. Who gets that good flank? Who manages to land their wombo combo? We will soon find out as we are about to enter this next altar phase. There is going to be another Frozen Punisher. Obviously, probably the scariest Punisher in the game currently. And with both teams having those mid lane keeps exposed, a Punisher here is almost certainly going to mean that it will be going on to the core eventually. As we are 17 minutes into the game as well, these Punishers are going to hurt quite a bit.
Yeah, Endurance of Fate comes out, but it misses, unfortunately, so that's going to be a big CD cooldown now for... This Barrier Life comes down there as well, landing onto 2 and 3. The red team falling lower and lower, but Anna just desperately trying to keep them alive. The Nano Infusion comes out as well, but Mephisto does go down. Nubrak falls extremely low, but it's going to be May that falls. Dragon Awakens comes out and does take down Leoric here, and it's going to zone out, but Cassia as well gets taken down. It's a 2 for 2 now.
2 for 2.
And the red team look a lot more healthy.
That they certainly do, and with Cassia being gone, that is so much of their damage just taken off the table. Unless they can get a really quick pick with this Anubrak, Stukov, and Jaina, I don't think they're going to be able to kill anything. Whereas you look at the other side, they have so much poke with this Hanzo. Anna can keep everyone topped up, and I think that with this Punisher going over, that is potentially going to be this mid lane keep falling, and maybe even a possibility for HandsUp to look to finish here if they can manage to get a couple of picks.
Yeah, but there are 3 catapults on the core, though, and Hanzo's back was interrupted there. Needs to get cocooned. Oh dear, Sleepdot doesn't come out. Squeaky's going to try and help the Hanzo, but Hanzo does go down. And meanwhile, the core is now going to start taking some damage as well. But meanwhile, no one's clearing the Punisher. So,
but both teams kind of like, where do we go right now? Do we outrun the Punisher? Does the Punisher outrun us? I don't know. Anna does get taken down. This is meaning that it's just 2 members here to defend this catapult lane. They have managed to clear it out, and John Cena, meanwhile, is doing some decent damage onto the mid lane keep. He is still at 60% HP, so a bit of a base race potentially going on here. Darhan is dropping super low.
Extremely clownable here. There's going to be the Ice Wall comes out, doesn't quite connect here. Razashu is going to have to jump out using that Leoric E build. Now the 3 members of HandsUp are chasing them down here. Does get the stun, but there's going to be Sarang with those flailing swipes.
The Punisher is onto core. Punisher is doing damage. The shields are down on this core. It is a frozen Punisher, so doesn't deal as much as it maybe with a mortar Punisher, but nice engage coming out here. Sarang on the Stukov looking a little bit low, but manages to get the heal off just in time. Caesar now getting entombed by Razashu. The balls will go down, but it's going to get interrupted by the cocoon. A bit of anti-synergy there, and Caesar somehow is only going down now. What, so much time for his team, though.
Yeah, and Rich actually managed to back there in the bush as well and save his core. But now it's going to be the blue team's turn again to go for the core. This is core attempt number 4, I think, at this moment in time.
Both teams understanding that everything is cloudable when it comes to Hero's Edge. Blah, blah, blah. Will throw out the Dragon Strike on the HandsUp. They have their eyes set on this Leoric, but he doesn't manage to get away for now. Gets the blind down from the Artanis onto him. The Ball Lightning will go down. Sarang is going to get caught in the ice wall. Is there going to be any follow-up here, though?
Yeah, Rich is back as well on that Jaina now, so it's going to be a 5v4. But the core shields aren't falling here, and they're going to get a kill onto Leoric.
Leoric does go down, so he is not going to be available for a minute minus however much he wants to get with the sucky. But oh my god, this game is still going on. Both teams are so desperate to try and find this first victory, but it's becoming a bit of a fiesta.
Yeah, I think these teams need to just pause, reset their mentals, and stop right-clicking core.
Yeah, there's other things you can do on the map. There are camps available. You look at the outer lanes, both forts are still up for Svens Angels. So maybe going up to push it down would be a little bit greedy, considering a backdoor. We're not quite in backdoor range, I don't think. I think 78%, you're still kind of safe from a backdoor. But knowing how this game is going, I wouldn't be surprised to see either team attempting one.
Yeah, exactly that. Both teams have a potential, but the next objective is going to be in the top side here, which means that HandsUp, they are definitely on the back foot here, because if this goes over to Svens Angels, you'd have to say the game is over.
Yeah, and Svens Angels do still have their top lane fort. They do still have that well, which, I mean, it can play a part in these team fights around these objectives, which is something that they're going to have to take into account. So maybe they need to look for a quick combo, look for that big combo, which we saw them pulling off in the mid game so well, because if this gets drawn into a long fight and they don't get kills with that combo, Svens Angels can just pull back, tap, and re-engage, and then they have so much shrine clear with the Leoric, Cassia, the Jaina, that you would expect them to win in these more drawn-out team fights.
Yeah. So far, it just seems like the Buried Alive isn't getting them the kills anymore. It seems like as long as Ana hits that Nano Infusion onto Mephisto, for example, then it's just so much damage coming out from them as well, which forces Sarang on the Stukov to have to heal as well as try and put the silencers down. So, yeah, I mean, these team fights have been so much fun.
That they certainly have, and we are only 20 seconds away from potentially having another one as the Shrine in the top lane is activating. We are going to have an Arcane Punisher pushing down the top lane for one of these teams. Who is it going to be, though? We do see a little bit of a bush trap set it up, the Chinese bush meta alive and well in the eyes of Svens Angels. But they are going to pull back now and get their eyes focused on this objective.
Yeah, they're going to have an early start onto this objective. Force HandsUp to come into them. They say, fight on our terms. This is where we want to fight. This is our zone. So now HandsUp just trying to step up, trying to poke with that hand zone, looking for the engage.
They are Squeaky doing a good job of anchoring in this brush. Shoe just trying to scout out a little bit with that Leoric E. Whitehall goes down and only catches one. The Giants of Hatred will go down and only hits a Nubrak for now, which means the Dragon Strike does go wide. A lot of the cooldowns are being used by the side of HandsUp, and they are not getting anything out of it. Richard manages to find the route onto the May, and Artanis is dropping low, but Leo is the first one to go down in this fight.
Yeah, but Artanis does eventually go down onto that. Maybe there's going to be a second Dragon's Awakens coming out, zoning Riskaka and Rich off there on the backside. There's 4 members of HandsUp, and they're looking very healthy as long as Ana keeps hitting these heals here.
And she has been hitting them so far. Caesar able to get into the midst of the enemy team with that Mephisto and dealing so much damage to this Cassia. Riskaka having to walk away with less than 200 HP. Will get healed up right now, but oh my god, so many low HP bars. But as we said, that fountain is still available, and we can see there's a very healthy lead for Svens Angels in terms of the Shrine minions which have been killed. Durance
of Hate is going to be back up in now. Dragon Awakens is going to be back up in 9 seconds, but Leoric is going to be back in 10 seconds as well.
He will have the Entomb available when he respawns as well. He is here now looking for Caesar on the Mephisto. He does have the Silence Entomb, and he will land it onto the Mephisto. Silence goes down, and that is going to be one dead Mephisto.
Yeah, Mephisto just gets absolutely smacked there in that Buried Alive, and this looks like HandsUp could take it. But there's minions. There's 4 catapults going onto the core of Svens Angels, but the minion wave just spawned. Is that going to be enough?
The shields are down already. There's still 1 catapult available and another enforcing wave coming in. That being said, though, this is the Shrine going over to the side of Svens Angels. They can probably send Jaina back to defend if they feel necessary, as we do see a potential core rush coming in from HandsUp.
Yeah, but they've only got a Hanzo and Ana and a Squeaky.
Not the most core damage you would imagine. And Brother has been sent back on the Leoric, so he should be able to defend this, you would imagine. But it has forced 3 members back, in fact, which will hurt the push for Sven's Angels.
Yeah, very like comes through. There's going to be the Cocoon onto Anna as well. They're going to have nothing to break this now, unfortunately. And I think HandsUp have just conceded the game, unfortunately for them. It seems that they did a last attempt, but that's going to be 4 members down for HandsUp. The core's going to start taking some damage on the side, and the blue team can just march their way to victory.
Indeed, they can. Top lane is open. Bot lane is open. There are catapults onto the core already, taking down the shields. John Cena has also turned his eyes onto this core, so this should be game 1 GG going over in favor of Sven's Angels, unless they somehow manage to claim this. We will see.
The Dunes of Fate doesn't come out. I was hoping for like a sneaky Dunes of Fate like that, and it would have connected, and it would have been very nice. But the core there's no way they survive. They defend this core. It's a 25-minute Punisher, and that's going to be it. GG, well played. Sven's Angels take game number 1 in this best of 5.
GG. Fantastic start to this series. So back and forth, but in the end, Sven's Angels will take game number 1. And honestly, if we get 5 games of this, we are in for an absolute treat this season.
Indeed. What a game 1. Sven's Angels and HandsUp fighting for each millimeter on the map there. Whew, and I have to say, we did come out Sven's Angels with the Cocoon, with the Suk of Silence. They made some great combos. I have to, when your roll is not able to press any button at all, you know you got a nice stun lockdown.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just all the setup, right? It was like, yeah, it was just really well played by. I think the Stukov really stands out to me with those silences, those follow-ups, etc. Were just absolutely on point.
That they certainly were. And if you look at the kill involvement for pretty much every member of Sven's Angels in that game, it's like 19 or 20 out of 22. They were just playing as a complete unit from start to finish, and all doing their bit to secure 22 kills in the end, which is a nice little haul coming out in a 25-minute game. So a bloodbath, which is exactly what you want to see in game 1 of a final. Hopefully we'll get some more of this going on.
Yeah, I mean, if the final keeps going like this, then my God, it's going to be a fun series. So we're just waiting to find out now what HandsUp are going to do. They've asked for just a minute here, just to, I think, recover. Looked like they were leading the game, then they lost it. So when they were so close to 16 as well, they get caught out. They lose the team fight. Then it brings Sven's Angels back in. Then Sven's Angels look like they're going to lose. Then HandsUp look like they're going to lose. And it was just a back and forth momentum swing, essentially. Yeah,
it really, really was. And again, mental fortitude is a huge part, especially in a best of 5. Often I think it comes down to that of which team can keep their cool, can kind of just take stock of the game and be like, okay, this is what we need to do. Let's calm it down. Let's slow the int down. Let's do whatever it is you need to do to get back into the game. A lot of the times it's the team who can keep their composure over the course of a 5-game series, which will come out on top, rather than who just presses their buttons better. So definitely not all hope is lost so far for HandsUp. They had some fantastic moments in that game, and they can certainly, I think, hold their heads up with an honourable defeat. But plenty of time to make up for it, as we do have potentially 4 more games.
Also, people love reverse sweeps, so
true.
You know, you gotta give the viewers what they want.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, I just hope HandsUp's mental, they can keep it strong, because what they don't want to do is start thinking about all the other previous finals where they lost.
Well, who knows? Maybe they can look back and be like, okay, this is what we did wrong last time, let's fix it this time. That's the only way you can look at it positively, I suppose.
So I know, speaking to some of the players, they're really keen to get their trophy this time around. I think they've been in 2 finals bad boys. Yeah, is that your Division 6 already? Wow, they've upgraded. They've sent them out already.
It's not quite my Division 6 one yet. Haven't got that one in the post just yet. But I've earned this one properly now. I got this one for winning the table quiz at a lounge meetup. But now I've actually earned it. So.
You win the quiz.
I did win the quiz, yeah. So
in the meantime, we do have from the side of HandsUp a choice, and they decided to go for the map choice. So leaving the first pick over towards Sven's Angels, and they will bring us towards Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, BOE. Now, let's see if HandsUp can pull something out of the bag here. They like this map. Obviously, it's their comfort map. So, I have to see how they how they face it, essentially.
I mean, you talked about some interesting comps they played yesterday on this map, Aviator.
Yeah, so they played a Maiev main tank with double support. So they first picked the Uther, I think it was. Then they had a Hanzo as well. I think I can't remember. It was a Maiev.
Maiev, Ana.
Yeah, I remember the Ana.
Uther.
Uther.
Lunara. And,
Lunara.
And Malthiel.
Yeah, there we go. Nos remembers. Thank you.
I took a screenshot because I was like, "This is a pretty spicy comp. Maybe we should try this." We have a Malthiel player, we have an Ana player, we have a Lunara player, we have a Maiev player. We're just meeting the Uther, so
it was just clean up. But I know Rich was watching it as well yesterday, and these teams would have done their homework. So you have to see how it goes for them. I'm just game one goes like that. It's 25, 26-minute game. Every for 5 maps is going to be a banger.
Yeah, well, looking at the stats, both teams actually do have a 100% win rate on BOE this season. 6 maps played for HandsUp and only 3 for Svens Angels. So a little bit more experience for the team in red, but obviously a 100% win rate is still a 100% win rate. And this is the map where Svens Angels did secure their spot, beating Just Cause here on Game 4 on Wednesday. Running a double support comp where they had Rhaegar and Uther with a Vala hyper carry. As a Vala player having Divine Shield and Ancestral, is there anything better than that? I don't think so.
Bloodlust.
I'll take the Ancestral personally because I'm an Inter. So I want the extra button to save me when I overstep. But yeah.
I mean, that was a interesting thing to see, honestly, the other day, where Division 1 Plus did play the semi-finals and one team picked Bloodlust and just overran the other one, and there was nothing they could do. So this might also be something the teams look at with that option to pick up the Rhaegar. But first of all, he has to get through the ban phase, which he did in game number 1, so we shall see if he does it in game number 2. Also, the Hanzo, which we did see out of HandsUp, does have a lot of value on Battlefield of Eternity with the W build being able to raise. Then we also see Li Ming, very high priority usually, being able to just poke from far side while also having decent raise. One of the few maps where we might actually see an Artanis coming out for Yash. And I was looking at race heroes, there's the Grey main and everything, but most common DPS heroes, Vala, of course, Vala Q build, or in general Vala also still does a lot of raise. But else, most of the DPS, which are very common at the moment, don't seem to have the best DPS on the Immortal. And especially
Lunara
when True, Lunara also as well. But when you look at it, then maybe a Junkrat and stuff, they can still be pretty annoying. So let's see if they pick it up.
Yeah, but game number 2, though, Battlefield of Eternity, we're about to start the draft. Hanzo has got to be a priority, surely.
Yeah. Big pick for both teams this season. And we just saw the power of it there. It didn't manage to turn into a victory for HandsUp, but we did see how powerful that can be. And obviously, Dragon Strike, Dragon Arrow, both fantastic. I think Dragon Arrow on this map, very, very powerful because there's just so many choke points where a lot of times teams will have to filter in groups of 2 or 3, and then you can get these huge stun setups for your team to capitalize on. So I do definitely think it is probably going to be banned, and if it isn't banned, I do expect to see it being first picked.
Yeah, I also want to point out they played Cassia in the last map, and they've played it 8 times in the regular season with 100% win rate. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why. It definitely did a lot of work in those team fights. Cassia was left sort of dodged out on the endurance to fate, and I feel like Cassia just adjusted late game, just sort of hung back a little bit more rather than going forward all the time. Hung back, waited for the endurance, and then went in and was just wreaking havoc.
In the meantime, we have betting set up. So if you think Svens Angels will also win this map number 2, bet A and the number of points you want to bet on, or if you think HandsUp will make it, bet B and the number of points you want to bet on. In the meantime, you mentioned earlier the Maiev main tank, it has now been banned by Svens Angels, so no Maiev main tank for HandsUp, and HandsUp immediately with the respect counter ban onto that Stuka from game number 1, who has just wreaked havoc with that lurking arm. Especially with the low blow and the damage behind the team and CC into that.
Yeah, we do see the Uther ban coming out as well from Svens Angels. I think Uther probably empowers double support comps better than any other healer in the meta right now, purely because you can kind of have him as that sort of the off main tank as well. No surprise to see Rhaegar ban coming out from HandsUp then as a response. And there's the HandsUp.
Yeah, first pick HandsUp. It had to be. And they banned the Uther as well, so they're just really sort of negating HandsUp's drafts. So what is it going to be for them? They're having to think this time. Last time they had a plan. They were insta-locking every hero that they wanted. This time around they're having to actually think, which is dangerous for these players. But they're going to go for the URL again. Squeaky backing himself on the Space Goat. And they're going to pick up the Lunara.
Yeah, I do like Yrel a lot on this map. Obviously, pretty much every hero who has displacement gains a lot of value on this map, I think, just because you can knock people into the Immortal Stun, which can be such a powerful tool. Lunara, we mentioned, still very, very popular. She has fallen off quite a bit in win rates this patch after the nerf to Choking Pollen on level 7, but I think it's still probably going to be the talent of choice here. Splintered Spear is a decent option on 7 as well, but Choking Pollen just going from 200% to 175%, it still deals a hell of a lot of damage, especially onto that Immortal who you're going to be able to get those 3 stacks of your passive on pretty easily.
Yeah, but they're going to go for the Light Bomb attempt now with the Anduin. Now, I really like Sarang's Light Bombs. They've been absolutely on point so far in the previous the match that you cast as well. They use a lot of standard comps really, but they just execute it really well.
And having Anubrak is up there as the best light bomb companion to have as an Anduin. And when you have Hanzo Arrow to follow it up or to initiate it, they just have, like, already with these 3 picks.
Oh, Nos.
Bye, Nos. All right. In the meantime, we have the Rexar ban coming out from HandsUp against the Svens Angels with the last ban in the second game. Banning out the Johanna. So again,
just controlling Artanis' picks essentially here. But Rexar being banned out as well, that's another 100% thing. I wonder if we will see Cassia again on the side of the blue team, but they're going to get the Li Ming and they're going to get Lucio as well. So they might even go for a Varian last pick here, you know, for the side of HandsUp.
Okay, I think I'm back.
You are back.
Okay, nice. So what did I miss? Miss Li Ming and Lucio being locked in for the side of HandsUp. Yeah, I don't think the Varian would be a bad choice here at all. We will wait to see now how do Svens Angels round out their draft. They are going to opt for Tychus and Sonya by the looks of things.
Okay, so the Sonya with the leap, trying to hit that Lucio, Lunara, Li Ming. You know, any of those 3 targets should die if they get leapt. With the follow-up here, obviously you've got Tigers just sort of grenade dispensing as well, but it is going to be Garrosh. I was wondering if we were going to see a Varian, you see, but no, they're going to opt for the Garrosh instead.
Yeah, I feel like HandsUp, they do need a defense tool against Down. Down of Cocoons has been amazing in the last game with the Garrosh. You again have an unstoppable on the tank yourself, as well as with the throw, you can try to save ally.
Yeah. And again, Garrosh just very strong around these immortal fights as well. The fact that he can throw someone into an immortal stun is obviously one of the classic tools that you see Garrosh using on this map. But potentially a little bit scary into the Tychus. Obviously, percentage damage very, very effective against the Warlord.
Indeed, especially Hanzo and Tychus are 2 of the assassins which should be able to sort of kite the Garrosh around if they manage to use their mobility tools fine. I'm a little bit more worried about Sonya or Anub. If they do mess up their engages, I think HandsUp have to punish them with a throw into taunt and something. As I feel like that's the way of HandsUp trying to win team fights. But Svens, they also have a really scary engage with Anub and Sonya. So if they hit their engages, it's going to be lights out for HandsUp. But let's go into game number 2.
And here we are on Battlefield of Eternity once again. In the blue corner, we have Rich on the Hanzo, Ruzashu on Sonya, Riskaka will be playing the Tychus, Sarang on an Anduin, and Anubrak will be played by Darhanis. It's Svens Angels.
On the right-hand side for HandsUp, we've got blah, blah, blah on the Lunara, Caesar 86 on the Ming, Calypso on the Lucio, Artanis playing Garrosh, and of course Squeaky back on the Yrel.
So level 1 talent, we do of course see a W build coming out from HandsUp. No surprise there. I think that is pretty much as standard as it gets on this map. We do see Aether Walker coming out for Li Ming on level 1. I think this is the one map where this is probably the most viable. Maybe Curse of Talo as well. But yeah, apart from that, I think it's again very standard across the board.
Yeah, no sort of spicy picks coming in. Obviously, this probably will be a decimated Garrosh. I know Garrosh like to pick it a lot more lately, and Altanis is a decimate fan as well, so it could be that. So that's when we might start getting our spicy picks coming in. So Hands are just looking to try and stack that level 1 at the moment. Yeah, but top side we do see Lunara and Urel. Now this is what I meant by Hands Up sort of wacky rotations. Essentially, they're just like sort of mixing it up, putting pressure on different sides of the map.
This is something that I actually think we don't see enough of, is especially if you're on red side on this map, because your bruiser camp pushes in top lane. I think send more members to that top lane, get a bit of pressure down there, especially if you think you can outpush your opponent. And honestly, I think you can outpush a Hanzo and a Tychus who don't have that much wave clear. They don't have that much in terms of raw structural damage as well. So being able to just put pressure onto this Sonya, which is giving room for Urel to take the siege camp, is going to mean that they can get some damage done onto this top lane, which again is where their bruiser camp will be pushing.
Yeah, you've got Li Ming for the poke and the bot side as well to help defend. Not a huge amount of wave clear, obviously, with Garrosh, Lucio, but Garrosh can throw one of the camps in, and obviously if any of the blue members step up too much, then Garrosh can throw them over the wall as well. So yeah, I do like this split so far.
It is going to mean that Sonya does take quite a chunk of HP. She is dropping to about half health. Meanwhile, Garrosh in the bottom lane, likewise for him. But lots of pressure onto this top lane from the side of Hands Up. They've already taken the bot tower and have their eyes now on this front gate as well, which probably is also going to mean the entire front wall falling, which obviously front walls do still give you that immediate XP. So that is going to give them level 4 already.
Yeah, and this is where Li Ming comes online with that Triumvirate talent as well. This is the annoying thing about Li Ming on BOE. Because with Li Ming, you've got to decide you want to either soak the orb or let it go through when you're poking the Immortal, etc. But this talent, you just have orb after orb after orb.
Yeah, it's so difficult to play against. Long gone are the days of dominance where she used to pop off. Remember when this used to be a meme talent on level 4?
Yes.
But no, it is legit these days, and on this map, it is so disgusting to deal with.
Nowadays, dominance is more than meme talent.
I know, yeah. Give it back to full HP rather than missing HP. Please, Blizzard, I want to be able to pop off and Li Ming again and int like a monkey. As we do see, level 4s now here for the side of Svens Angels as well. It is going to be Master Assassin coming in for Tychus, so probably looking at the more Odin-focused build rather than just the shred the front line. But we do see sometimes against a Garrosh, and we do see now Hands Up are going to be the first ones to get onto the enemy Immortal and getting a decent chunk of damage down, about 5k damage dealt so far to it already.
Yeah, they're kind of just popping off essentially here on the first halftime show. Now they've almost got it. So one sort of poke from Li Ming and the halftime show will be taken. But it looks like they're just going to go up and try and defend.
Indeed they will. They've also sent Urel down to the bot lane to clean out the fallen shaman camp, so it is temporarily a 5v4 in favour of Svens Angels, and they are looking to engage. Jarhanis going in on the Artanis there. Doesn't manage to get too much though, as Indomitable was available for the Garrosh.
Yeah, and Donald being pop. So halftime show actually been won now by Svens Angels, but it's a very, very even split. I'm not sure which race I favour here, but it looks like the red team, they're going to try and go for the defence again.
And indeed they are. Obviously serrated arrows for the Hanzo at level 4 does mean that he does so much damage, but Lunara did also get Nature's Culling at level 4, so both teams having a lot of DPS onto these Immortals, and you can see the race is pretty fucking even, despite the fact that it is more of a defensive setup for the side of Svens Angels.
Yeah, so Svens Angels do take the first Immortal here. Now, red team going to have to reset, but it's a very low shielded Immortal. I mean, Hands Up has to be comfortable with that. They did get a little bit more experience as well in the meantime.
That they did, but this blue Immortal is going to the top lane in favour of Svens Angels. They probably won't be getting much here. Again, a lot of the times with this first Immortal, your goal was to try and snipe the well, but that is not really an option anymore. And with the extra HP going into the fort itself, it does mean that taking this top Immortal is going to probably deal even less than it otherwise would have. But again, getting this front wall down, getting a bit of parity in this top lane where obviously the front wall has already been taken by Hands Up, it is going to even things out a little bit. and help them get a bit of half-level lead as we approach the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, Rosashu just chasing down Squeaky there. Sonya VUL as well, making sure that there was no sneaky rotations from either player there coming in. But now, Hands obviously with vision control is so important, given that Sonic Arrow letting his team know exactly where they are. And we might see an engage coming out here onto this. And looks like we are. The Dominal already being popped here by Garrosh. Does have that throw to throw them off, but can't stand still into a Tychus. That is the thing. Caesar just trying to fire orbs from the side, looking for that flank. But it looks like the red team's going to be happy to concede this.
Indeed they will. We do see the level 1 quest has been completed by Hanzo already. He has hit the 20 stacks needed. And Artanis now is under so much pressure coming out from Dartanis with the good engage on the Anubrak. And Artanis on the Garage walks away with less than 200 HP. This is going to give a bit of room for Svens Angels to push up and maybe get some siege down onto this top lane fort, which didn't take any damage from the Immortal. But with this camp and the pressure coming out for the team in blue, they can maybe get a bit of chunk onto this top lane fort.
Yeah, I think they'll get some damage done to it. They shouldn't lose the fort here for the side of Hands Up. Bot side as well, nothing really exciting happening. It is obviously the off lane where nothing ever really happens.
Hot's in 2021, unfortunately. I don't know how anyone plays offlane. It seems so boring to me. But we do see Squeaky and Rosashu trying to fight over this siege camp. There is going to be a rotation down from the rest of Svens Angels, so they should be able to win this. It is going to give a bit of priority, though, for Hands Up if they want to get some early race down.
Yeah, 7 seconds till the Immortal. Experience pretty even. There's a slight XP lead for Svens Angels at the moment, but they are going to lose some experience topside here. And we see Hands Up just deciding to take their hard camp as well.
Yeah, we are approaching level 10s. Do you think there's either team who gets a bigger power spike from getting their ultimates in this game? I think, for me, I'm looking more at the side of Svens Angels. I think just the Hanzo. I'm expecting Arrow this game rather than Dragon Strike. I think it's a fantastic tool because it's non-committal engage. You can just throw it out there, and if it lands, they have fantastic follow-up. But if it goes wide, then the worst thing that happens is people spam any Arrow in chat.
Yeah, but so level 10s are in now for the blue team. They're still playing a little bit passive, though. You just thought with level 10, they'd have just immediately turned on the pressure just before they had that slight advantage. Urel obviously in the bot side trying to take level 10 for their team.
Does manage to pick up the level 10. We do see it's going to be Disintegrate from Li Ming and Thornwood Vine for Lunara, so lots of poke for them. Rosashu, though, is going to be taunted by the Garrosh. Manages to walk away for now. Squeaky doing some good peeling on the back, but huge lead from Rosashu on the Sonya. That is such a good engage, and they have the light bomb follow up as well. 2-0 as Garrosh and Li Ming will both fall.
Yeah, it was a huge Dragon's Arrow from downtown from Hanzo, setting up that engage, the leap follow-up, the light bomb follow-up as well. Nothing was overlapped. It was all beautifully timed. And yeah, great team fight. Artanis actually missed the taunt on 2 people next to him.
Yeah, hate to see it.
You hate to see it. You really do. Yeah, unfortunately, missing that taunt does then lead the Rosashu to be able to walk away just fine. But now Hands Up, they're going to try and go for that little bit of a defense here. There is only Rich and Rosashu here, and Hands Up needs to be careful here. Is going to jump away, but now he's going to be caught down and is going to fall. That's a nice quick kill now for Hands Up here.
Yep, excellent work from Calypso on that Lucio, proving that Lucio is better than ETC at being ETC, knocking that carry into the middle of the enemy team. And they do follow it up with a kill on Sonya as well. So leveling it up here, 2 kills to 2, but 3 versus 5 on the map does mean that Hands Up now looking for more. They get the taunt onto Iskaka, and Tychus is going to fall. Maybe not even done yet. Sarang getting run down by Squeaky. Just get the knockback onto Darhanis, and maybe has bitten off a bit more than they can chew, but a fantastic Lucio sound barrier will come in to keep the Urel alive.
Yeah, there's no world where Hands Up take this Immortal, right?
280.
There's no world. Hands Up just presses Q. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Just thought for a moment here, but the red team that are not done yet. And Donald being popped now by the Garrosh. Dragon's Arrow does connect, but only onto Caesar.
Yeah, looks like both teams now deciding to just take a little bit of a chill and focus on this next Immortal push. It is once again going over to the side of Svens Angels. This time it has its eyes set on the bot lane, which the front wall is already down, but without any supporting cast coming in, it is going to fall pretty quickly. Svens Angels, though, have taken this opportunity to finish off that top lane fort. A nice reaction from them, I think, considering that they probably weren't going to be able to get a fort in the bottom lane, but you can get that immediate pressure going into this top lane now.
Yeah, I do like it from them. It's a really nice heads-up play. Just rotate top, secure the free fort, while bot, you're going to get a lot of damage done just from the Immortal as well. They could have probably secured the bottom fort as well had they rotated down, but they'll be content with this for sure.
That they will. And of course, this is the lane where their camp will be pushing as well. So if HandsUp ever have a slight lapse in concentration and let that camp through, then this fort is just dead to rights. So good heads-up play from Svens Angels, who have, despite taking that top fort and taking both objectives, haven't pulled away in XP. So HandsUp will be pretty happy with that. They actually get their level 13s first. We do see is it going to be the illusionist coming in from Li Ming, big power spike for her.
Looking for an arrow though, looks like Hanzo. You step back, that's the sort of sign usually from Hanzo. You sort of start taking the back, but Urel's come down with the flank. There's knockback into Taunt here. There's going to be the cocoon on the ground, going to be broken up, and that's going to be a dead Hanzo as Li Ming jumps in with that calamity here. Going to get thrown in as well onto Lucy, going to get that knockback here. They still have sound barrier available as well. They're going to get another kill onto Tychus. There's going to be another Li Ming reset here. Sarang goes down as well. The light bomb not enough here. Calypso might fall down, but no, there's going to be the bro shield, keeping them all alive.
Fantastic flank coming out from Squeaky on the Urel. Manages to get the knockback onto the Hanzo to start off the fight, and then the rest of the team just cleaning up and giving Li Ming so many resets. Fantastic fight for them. They now have a full level lead. They have their eyes focused on this bot lane forward, and this next Immortal is spawning in just 20 seconds time.
Yeah, HandsUp, they're back in the game with that. 6 kills against 2. They're a level ahead again. They just need to keep their composure now, and this is why they brought Svens Angels to BOE.
Yeah, clearly showing that they have a fantastic understanding of this map. They have not gotten into any sort of panic mode. They have gotten themselves right back into this game. They will take the bottom camp. They have Urel also doing the bruisers. So 2 points of pressure for the side of Svens Angels to defend as this Immortal is going to spawn. And we're getting to the stage now where these Immortals start to really hurt. So you do have to make sure that you are defending them or obviously winning them would be even better.
Yeah, I think winning them would definitely be better. But now, what can they get done here? Indolable being popped already by the Garage Thieves, looking for that engage, but nice pull from Sarang, keeping the Tychus in the game still.
Yeah, but that's a big cooldown used for the side of Svens Angels, not having that leap of faith for, I think it's a 70-second cooldown or something. It is going to mean that Garage now will be looking at basically anyone and being a bit more confident that they can get a kill with their next engage.
Yeah, both teams just playing slow at the moment. Urel forced to clear out the bot side as well, but Urel is showing up. But now we're going to see the engage coming down onto Artanis here, onto that Garage, but he does get the throw and the taunt. But there's going to be the leap, there's going to be the light bomb connecting as well. The cocoon on the ground onto Lucio, and they are going to get a kill onto Li Ming. Lucio's going to be just fine though, able to boot themselves out to safety. But it looks like Garrosh is not going to be fine, as he's going to get taken down if Rich hits his scatters.
Yeah, again, it's just that powerful combo of the Hanzo arrow into a leap with a light bomb, and it's just so much AoE CC that like nobody can move on the side of HandsUp, and there's just such a little window for them to get any sort of response into this fantastically executed combo coming out from Svens Angels, which they clearly seem to have practiced because they were doing it consistently on Wednesday night in the semifinals, and they're doing it again tonight in the finals. So really good play from them.
Yeah, 10 seconds now for Garrosh as well. Lunara's just trying to harass them here. Looks like the red team are going to be happily stepping up here. They do see Sonya showing on the top side. Nice knockback from Squeaky into knocking Nubrak into the Immortal stun here. And now it bought enough time for Garrosh to come back. So they might be able to... It's like deja vu.
Deja vu. Aha. As but both teams now, level 16 is just around the corner for both. It actually has been picked up for Svens Angels. They do get the double pull now for Anduin, huge tool for them, and Giant Slayer obviously fantastic against that Garrosh and the Urel. So they have turned the screw now and are looking to secure this Immortal, their third of the game, and surely now they have their eyes on this keep in the bottom lane, which is where this next Immortal is going to go.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Level 16s are in for both sides. Obviously, you do get the piercing arrows from Hanzo, which is such a big... Oh, wait,
he went Giant Slayer, in fact, which is, I mean, again, percentage damage, very effective against the Garrosh and the Urel as well, in fact. So, I like the pick. I think it's a very underrated pick on level 16. You usually see it more with the redemption side of things, rather than going for the W or Q builds, but I think it can still work here.
Okay, so how are the red team going to defend this? Squeaky is looking for that flank, but it's going to be scouted out by Rich on that Hanzo, so they know where they are.
That they do, and this Immortal is already down to half HP. It's lost its shield, so fantastic defense for the side of HandsUp. It looks like they are not going to lose too much, but a big engage coming out once again. Artanis is dropping super low, but it's a big shield coming out from Lucio. Managed to get the shield, runs a shoot on the Sonya, jumps in, and that is going to be the first kill of this fight, going over to the side of Svens Angels.
Yeah, great execution again. The Dragon's arrows have been connecting on point so far from Rich on that Hanzo. Really showcasing it, actually, and why it was a pocket pick for them and why the Hanzo is at 80% win rate. But they are still defending this keep, and meanwhile Squeaky jumps in, gets a nice engage, but I think he's overstepped here as the focus is now turning onto him. But now it's actually falling lower and lower as well as Lenara just chases them down. It's all on a knife edge, really, for both sides.
Squeaky jumping in without ultimate. He was making me a little bit nervous, but manages to survive there. And crucially, they managed to keep the keep alive. Barely, but just managing to keep it up. So there will not be that constant catapult pressure that they have to deal with all game long. But that being said, they do have decent tools to deal with it. Squeaky, though, is in the middle of the enemy team, does get the big knockback off, doesn't have his ultimate for another 70 seconds, so doesn't have that as an option to keep himself alive and will go down. Sonya securing the kill, and now a huge light bomb onto blah blah blah, and that is going to be the second kill of this fight, going over to the team in blue.
Yeah, and they could
arrow! Oh, and an arrow coming through.
I mean, the speed boost from Lucio was what kept them there. So I'll give him benefit of the doubt for missing it, just because that speed boost. But it's not over yet. As Artanis is now going to be the focus onto Garage Pops and Domino. It's going to be late. This is going to be keep. This could be game.
This could well be game. 2 members alive, just Lucio and Li Ming. It looks like they are going to be content with just taking this keep and backing off, potentially invading their opponent's bruiser camp, which it does look like it is going to be the call. No, actually, maybe they have their eyes on this front wall of the bottom keep, which will, again, just allow these catapults to get in and get some keep damage down, potentially force HandsUp to clean this up while they get some good immortal damage, I would assume is going to be the game plan here.
Yeah. HandsUp need to do something drastic here to come back into this game because it is looking sketchy.
It certainly is, and this is going to be a full shield immortal going into the halftime phase at least. Garrosh is up now, and he is going to try and... He's not actually going to deal with that camp sub. With a camp and a catapult, the wave is coming in just in time to potentially dissuade any core damage being taken, and it looks like HandsUp have recognized that this is the one chance they're going to get for a fight pre-20, and they are looking for blood.
Yeah, unfortunately, Caesar 86 is going to get stunned to the face on the point the Bro Shield comes out, though. There's going to be the leap light bomb coming out, but it looks like Sonny's going to go down. That's going to be a leaping reset here. That's going to be 1. Can they get another kill? Squeaky jumps in aggressively here. Doesn't have his ultimate available, but Li Ming is the one that goes down to the towers, or the camp, in fact.
Yeah, the camp alive and doing some work for the side of Svens Angels. Picking up that kill onto Li Ming is so crucial for them. They did lose Sonya in that team fight, but it's still a 4 versus 4 for now. Artanis looking for the engage onto the Anubrak. Artanis has to scoot away for safety. Squeaky dropping super low on the URL as well. Good trade coming out for the side of Svens Angels. Will they be able to use this pressure as a big charge? Oh, but a nice pearl from Anduin to keep Rich alive.
Yeah, keeping Rich alive is very important there, especially for this race as well. Meanwhile, the red team's core is going to be under pressure. That's 2 catapults, that's a camp as well. They are going to have to do something about this.
Indeed, that fallen shaman camp, we know, deals so much pressure into the lane. Nice engagement, but just missing out. And that is going to mean that this will surely, with level 20s, give Svens Angels the room that they need to step up to try and get this immortal once again. It will be their 5th immortal of the game. They've won pretty much all of them, and we do see Li Ming has respawned, but has to deal with this camp in the bottom lane.
Yeah, they're missing the taunt again. That's the second time now for Garrosh. And Garrosh falling extremely low. They ate a huge scatter to the face. And now it's going to be leap into the back line. Dragon's Arrow does unfortunately miss this time, but Artanis is keeping himself alive. There's going to be the light bomb coming through. Cocoon on the ground as well onto Lucio. Lucio is going to get broken out. Going to be just fine, I think, as he dashes out to safety here. Darhanis now may have bitten off more than he can chew, though, as he goes in aggressively. And now Squeaky jumping in as well. No ultimate available for him for another 13 seconds. They do have the sound barrier, though, on the side of HandsUp.
That they do, but Odin is still waiting to be popped for the side of Svens Angels. They've got to go now, and they get the kill onto Hanzo, but that is at what cost, as Urel will fall as well, so there's no front line available for HandsUp, and their core taking a little bit of damage. The shield's now regenerating, but Tygus is going to be the first one to fall, and there's another reset, and potentially HandsUp have saved the game.
Oh my god, HandsUp. What is this game?
What is this game? Well, one thing it is not is over just yet. HandsUp managing to get the kill crucially onto that Tychus, I think, because with Big Red Button, this could have been just right to pick the core to win, especially with a very healthy Immortal, but that is not going to be a healthy Immortal as it arrives to this keep. The keep is probably still dead. I don't know if they can save it, but crucially, their core is not going to be falling here.
Yeah. I'm losing the ability to speak here. I think that's my issue. My God, what a game! I mean, blue team, they're still in this, obviously. Red team, they're still in this, but red team, they do have to go through both forts and a keep to try and get a win con. Whereas the blue team, they have their win con set up very nicely.
Yeah, and with catapults being pushed down both lanes now for the remainder of this game, and the fact that Svens haven't even taken a fort yet, so they're not getting any catapults yet. Never mind the basically 3 a minute that they're going to have to deal with themselves. But yeah, I think it is kind of a case for HandsUp. They need to just force a fight. They need to do something because if they play this slow, they're just going to be pressured out of the map.
He missed the taunt again! Okay, but they got the kill this time. There's going to be the sound barrier as well, keeping them alive. There's going to be the light bomb, but unfortunately, self-light bomb comes out. Squeaky does have his ultimate available. There it is. It's going to be popped. So they do get the quick kill. But that's the third missed taunt from Artanis.
Yeah, he's having a bit of trouble securing those ultimates. But they did manage to get the kill, and with the Thornwood Vine from Lunaro, they should be able to poke this fort down, alleviate some pressure in this bottom lane. We do see Squeaky has gone back to defend. He will clear out the 2 catapults that have built up in this in this top lane. And maybe now an invasion coming in from HandsUp. Urel is showing on the top wave though, so potentially Svens Angels could see that this is a 4v4 and look to defend this camp if they wanted to.
Yeah, without their tank though, without leap as well, I think they're going to be sensible. They're going to back out and take this. They're going to chill. They're going to relax, reset mental, and they'll be just fine. They just need to not get. They're not the ones that need to force this. HandsUp have to force these guys. Svens Angels, they're going to have lane pressure in both sides. They're going to need to just play it patiently. And I think that's the problem sometimes. Is it's the hardest thing to do is nothing.
Yep, absolutely. And we see fantastic brace damage coming out for HandsUp here as well. So they will be, I think, able to relax a little bit for the next few minutes. Well, maybe not for the next few minutes, but for a few seconds at least, as they do get the Immortal down to at least half HP, which, I mean, it's going to alleviate some pressure, and it is giving them time to take this Fallen Shaman camp, which again, it alleviates pressure in that top lane. The Shaman camp should be able to deal with catapults and just hold up the wave for a little bit, but both teams now posturing around this top side Immortal. Arrows coming out.
Arrow connects only onto Garrosh there, but there's going to be Indomitable coming out. The sound barrier as well, keeping them all alive. He does have taunt available. Gets rooted, but now red team, they can just look to engage here. There's no arrow.
There is no arrow, but there is still leap and light bomb. So good ways for Svens Angels to initiate a fight, even without that arrow. Ultimates are coming back up, though. Urel will have hers now.
Cocoon's going to be broken out. So there's no Cocoon, there's no arrow now for the side of Svens Angels, but Razashu is just melting the Garrosh at the moment. There's going to be the leap. Light bomb comes out, only connects onto Garrosh again, but it looks like Garrosh might actually fall. No, there's another sound barrier and it keeps him alive. He's doing it again, the pull comes out as well. Saving, but Rich falls extremely low. 300 HP, 100 HP, the heal from Momo again on that 100. And now Garrosh, though, gets that into the fray, saving Lenara, but Lenara chasing down Razashu, and Razashu goes down. Oh, sorry, that's going to be a Leeming reset as well, but Leeming gets stunned to the face and into the Immortal stun as well. And might actually the blink.
Just about enough mana to keep herself alive there, but this looks like it is going to be the first Immortal of the game going over to HandsUp. They have managed to clutch it, and this is going to be a very healthy Immortal. They also have the camp in the top lane, has taken down the front wall, so potentially, I mean, for 24 minutes into the game, this is going to be a very chunky Immortal.
Oh my God, 24-minute game again. I can't take 5 games of this. I swear.
I know.
I'll have an aneurysm.
I'm going to need a coffee or maybe a whiskey or something after this game. Something to keep me perked up because, again, if we get 5 games of this, I'm going to sleep like a baby this evening. We do see Big Red Button Odin has been committed for this defense. Raskaka trying to do as much damage to the Immortal. Garrosh looking for the flank onto Darhanis there. But it is going to be a counter engage onto the Garrosh. Just manages to get the taunt off this time and manages to kill the Anubrak. Huge kill. And potentially HandsUp now have their eyes set on not just the keep, but potentially the game.
Yeah, if they can find and engage here. Suiki does have his ultimate available, so he's playing with fire a little bit. There's going to be the bullseye coming out from HandsUp, just stunning with Lunara, just trying to harass them. They want to poke them down. Big red button is going to be running out very shortly, and once that's down, I reckon, once the Immortal's in melee range, like now, this is where HandsUp are going to start stepping up. Squeaky waiting in the wings, looking for Rich on that HandsUp. Jumps in, gets a knockback as well. Caesar misses every spell, can't get the kill. Oh, but the double throw onto his Asher here, but he leaps Light Bomb out to safety, unfortunately. Never leap out, always leap in. And now it looks like HandsUp are going to turn their attention to the core. This Immortal is still 50%.
Still very healthy. Big root though onto Artanis is able to walk away for now. We do see Calypso also dropping kind of low on the Lucio, but this core is melting. And this looks like it is going to be GG. HandsUp somehow managed to win it.
Sorry.
Woo! It's 1-1. We are all tied up after a fantastic comeback from HandsUp.
Oh my god. Oh, Samu, give me your thoughts. What's the game?
I'm glad it's not a 32-minute game on PoE like we had last week. But in general,
don't remind me of that game.
I mean, it was pretty clean by Svens Angels, but then at one point, HandsUp, they found their way to play against it. They found their ways to counter the way of Svens Angels engaging with the arrows. And look at what happened. They just got it.
I mean, I know I called it out almost every time, but I think Garrosh missing like 5 taunts in a single map is not good. Not at this level. I think that. But what a game though. What a game.
Yeah, I was scared for HandsUp. I'm not gonna lie. It looked like Svens Angels just had that combo so down of. It doesn't matter which order it comes in, but the Hanzo arrow, the light bomb, the leap. It's just again so much AOE CC with a decent amount of damage on all of those spells as well. And it seemed like Svens Angels were so adept at pulling off this combo, but somehow HandsUp managed to. I couldn't even tell what adjustment it was that they made, but whatever it was, it worked, and they've tied up the series.
They just stopped grouping. I think that was but I don't know why Svens Angels. It looked like they were the ones trying to force it, and as I said, they just didn't need to force anything. They could have just chilled, taken their time, relaxed, got a coffee, just play it slow, play it smooth. But it just looked like they kept trying to force and force and force. I mean, eventually at HandsUp, enough ults were used that HandsUp just pulled the trigger in return and cleaned up.
I suppose that's the thing, when you have this big wombo combo composition coming out from Svens Angels, if you don't get the kills with your combo, then you're kind of screwed, especially into like a Lunara, who probably has the highest sustained DPS in the game. She gets Lunara gets them low, and then you got Li Ming to finish them off, popping off and getting resets galore, and that ended up being the difference maker, I think, for HandsUp.
Yeah. In the meantime, we have our map pick though, Samu.
Indeed.
So we're going to go to.
We do have Svens Angels having the recipe map pick and first pick. They decide to go for the map pick, again leaving the first pick over to HandsUp this time, and they will bring us towards Tomb of Spider Queen, or Tomb of the Wave Class, some people call it.
Yeah, Tomb of the Spider Queen, a map. It's much more about skirmishing and kind of just getting priority. So wave clear, as you mentioned, at an absolute premium, just because it gives you priority, it gives you the initiative to kind of do whatever you want on the map. So there are a few picks which you only really see on this map, things like Gul'dan, especially when Braxis isn't in the pool. I think this is the one map where you might see a Gul'dan. Aside from that, Johanna, I think, raises very high on priority, and Johanna in a pretty good spot in the meta right now, so I wouldn't be surprised to see her coming out here.
Indeed, especially on Tomb of Spider Queen, a lot of people, usually the playstyle is have a mid-top rotation with with at least a tank or a foreman in general, and then having the soul line towards the bottom side, as you do want to have the gems mostly on the tank, as he's safe with them, and if you lose them all, you could kind of have a problem.
And the other option is to have them on your squishies, and then you have your tank kind of using his CC and his own controls to keep enemies away while you're trying to turn in. That's the other thing, is like if you have all of them on your tanks, it can be difficult to turn in a lot of the time, just because you've no one to keep off whoever is trying to turn in. So multiple different ways of going about it, which is one of the nicer things about this map.
On the other side, if there's no boss up, no one has any gems, the map is just useless, and you just wait for anything. But anyways, as Marlo is asking why I do love this map, I hate this map over everything. I feel like it's the map I hate the most, and the reason is it just feels weird, as the bottom lane is pretty much useless except if your opponents get to keep, then you have some side pressure there. And this is, as an offlane main, this is just the way it works there. But in general, it's also having the burden of having those 50 gems on you, and you are not able to turn them in because the opponent always has an eye on you because you have 50 gems, and you're not really able to also do something aggressive because you're gonna lose 50 gems, and then if you lose those 50 gems, your team does literally nothing. So yeah, it's
it's a lot of pressure.
I just dislike the map. Also, Nos, what was that hit against offlaners in this game?
There was no dig against offlaners. It was facts. It's boring.
Yeah.
I hard disagree on this one. I have to.
All you guys do, you spin on your mount, you press spray, you press dance occasionally, and you get ganked. And that's all you do in the offlane.
I disagree.
Yeah. You take trades which are kind of meaningless because you haven't been doing the same thing. And
you clear the wave, you go to your foreman.
You hit me, I tap, you tap, ooh, we spin around again. And just
I clear the wave, I go to the foreman, I get a kill there, I go back to soaking minions. What could be better than soaking minions? Change my mind.
I play too much League, and it's like I'm playing a solo lane where I actually get to kill my opponent, you know? But, or, you know, into my opponent is probably more accurate.
I feel like the more appealing part of offlaning in HOTS is killing minions, you know? You gotta feel mighty.
Minion genocide is a honourable task, it has to be said, so.
It's a task that no one asked for, but we must do.
A few people I know have made a very interesting observation about me playing HOTS, that I double soak on everything. I recently had to double soak as main tank Imperius. You know, the offlane ain't only changes your way to play the game, it generally changes the way you play the game. But yeah, Tomb of the Spider Queen, are there anything you expect coming out of the teams on this map?
I mean, it'd be nice to see a Sylvanas or something like that. Does extremely well on Tomb. The wave clear post level 4 is really nice. Obviously, you can make a push.
I'm honestly expecting to see more HandsUp again. I think it's going to be a priority pick on pretty much every map, but again, it's a decent pick on this map. Having the vision control can be very useful around the turn-ins. Obviously, he has so much poke, which can make it difficult for the enemy team to turn in, and he has decent wave clear with either his W or his Q builds, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see more of Mr. Weeb himself once again.
How about some Maiev?
Yeah, I think Maev's going to get banned though. I think there's no way Svens Angels are going to leave through the Maev or the I don't know what else they've been banning, but Maiev, like Uther, Rhaegar, I think are the three that are going to get banned out.
Junkrat as well, probably as well.
Junkrat, of course. Yeah.
Does again? I mean, Junkrat's really strong on every map, but again, there's just so many vision points where he can just leave his trap, and then you have kind of control of that area. That wouldn't be too surprised to see him getting removed again. I'm hoping we get to see at least one Rhaegar game today, but and again, I don't want to see a free win for either team. So, actually, speaking of double soaking on Rhaegar, apparently Rhaegar can like really effectively double soak on Towers of Doom now. Where if you go W build, you literally can get it where you don't miss a single minion by level 7. So,
well, we probably won't see that today.
Probably not.
Probably not. But Tomb of the Spider Queen, map number 3. So far, I mean, if this is the best of 3, I don't want this to end either. But yeah, I think this game is going to end up going very, very close yet again. You know, 2 maps so far. We've had 25+ minute games. Maybe this will be a stomp for one team. Who knows?
Tomb of the Spider Queen is one of the more snowbally maps, to be fair. Then again, though, it's also one with one of the weaker objectives, so it can be 25-minute bangers. I've probably cursed it now by saying that. We probably are going to have another 25-minute game. But Rhaegar is going to be removed immediately. HandsUp do not want to face against the doggo, and obviously don't want to pick it themselves if they are banning it on first pick, which is pretty interesting to me.
Indeed. The Rega has been removed again, as we sort of expected already. In the meantime, we do have betting set up as well. So if you do think Svens Angels will win game number 3, exclamation mark bet A in the number of points you want to bet on them, or exclamation mark bet B in the number of points you want to bet on HandsUp, as we do see the Maiev being removed again.
Yeah, no real surprise there, nor is there any real surprise to see this Stukov being removed. We saw the power of Stukov in game number 1. He did receive nerfs on this patch, but not really any of the problematic parts of his kit. He did lose a bit of HP, so he is going to be a bit easier to punish if he oversteps, but his healing is still absurd, and the damage from low blow at level 1 is still ridiculous. So I think he is, alongside Rhaegar, probably going to be the top tier ban in the support pool currently.
They banned the URL. And that's an insta-lock, Johanna. This does mean Junkrat's open, though.
Oh, very true, very true.
This is forcing them. Yeah, this is forcing them to decide. Okay, that's a very confident Junkrat Rexar.
Very confident Junkrat Rexar. Yeah, Junkrat obviously very high priority, and as we mentioned in the pre-show, Rexar a fantastic pocket pick for them. They have played it 7 times this season. They have won with it 7 times this season. So clearly a comfort pick for Ruzashu.
So next 2 picks for HandsUp. What is it going to be? They need some wave clear. They need some deep damage.
What does Quickie play if he doesn't play Ural? We won't know for now as HandsUp. They will pick up Lucio and Jaina, so we immediately have the Johanna condemn into Jaina W insta clearing waves for the format of HandsUp.
Yeah, Caesar stuck on wave clear prison. It's a fun role to be in. You rotate, you press W, you rotate, you press W. You don't hit people. It's the most. Yeah.
I hate playing Jaina on Tomb because that is literally the map, so it's impossible to stack your quest.
Yes.
But it is easier to stack the quest now, obviously, after these buffs, needing 3,000 less damage to get that completed. And with Johanna and Lucio, they don't have that much lockdown, so I don't see this being a ring game. And obviously, the water elemental does make stacking the quest a little bit easier, so that is potentially a route for them to go down. They do ban out this Anubrak, which we've seen the power of it from Darhanis. He plays a very mean Anubrak, so no real surprise to see that removed here.
Yeah, I think, played it twice so far as well. I think HandsUp's starting to adjust a little bit more now, perhaps. False balance on something that he hasn't played yet either, so maybe it's not as comfortable on other picks. But we're going to get Brightwing coming out, so we are seeing different supports coming through. And main tank Blaze.
Yeah, Blaze. Darhanis played this in the semi-finals on Wednesday, and oh my god. I swear, every jet propulsion, he was hitting at least 2 members. He was absolutely popping off on that Blaze. Managed to land some clutch bunkers as well. So I'm very excited to see him pulling this out again, because he was very, very impressive with it in the semi-finals on Wednesday.
So, Squeaky, we're going to find out what he wants to play.
What will it be? It's going to be
Offlane Johanna. Offlane Johanna. Yeah, this is something which has risen in value quite a bit. The E changes, meaning that she now has even more wave clear. Her E build now, it's actually kind of insane how quick her wave clear is. So it does mean that they're a little bit maybe lighter in damage, and they're not going to have much kill pressure in the offlane, especially against her Rexar. But again, so much crowd control and so much CC that actually I think with this composition now they do have enough setup for ring if they wanted to go down that route. And there's the Gul'dan from Svens Angels.
Also, on this side of HandsUp, we do have 2 frontliners, which with a self-clean, with an unstoppable baseline. So even if the Blaze is going to charge in, if it's May or Johanna, they can just cleanse it on themselves. So Blaze might have a little bit of a rough time in this game. Also, there's Lucio who can just boop the stun. So we shall see how that one goes.
Which team has a few of the nods? I put my points on bet B.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards bet B as well. I think I have to say.
I really like. I just think that Gul'dan and Junkrat are going to be targets for the Falling Sword as well.
It's also just like they have so much poke on the side of Svens Angels, but they don't really have that many tools for securing kills. It's only really the Junkrat Riptire, which is on a pretty long cooldown. Whereas you look at the side of HandsUp, I think it's just a easier to execute composition. And again, I think they have a slight. Actually, no, both teams have insane wave clear, don't they? no real advantage for either team in terms of the rotational speed. But in terms of team fights, I do think I fancy HandsUp's draft a little bit more.
Also, on the side of HandsUp, we do have the Lucio, who gives you a little bit of a quicker rotations when he just gives you the movement speed while running around. And then you have Brightwing, who kind of struggles with healing up. The main idea to just teleport onto someone and have the big heal there. Also, looking into the offlane, it's going to be very interesting with the Rex against Johanna matchup, as both don't do much.
That's the standard. I think that's the standard thing that we mentioned earlier about spinning on mounts and clearing.
Yep.
I think that's what will happen. Only this time, Misha gets to join in as well.
So we do have a quick pause here. Not a whole lot of information as to why just yet, but we will let you know just as soon as we have that information. But we will be getting into game very shortly, hopefully.
Indeed. Also, in the meantime, we're looking at those picks. We do see also like huge tons of wave clear coming out from both teams, so I already like that.
Yeah, both teams have actually insane wave clear, so neither team with any real advantage there. In terms of being able to delay objectives, I think there is a pretty distinct advantage for Svens Angels, though. Junkrat is so annoying on this map because anytime you want to turn in, just Q. On the other side, though, I suppose Johanna, especially if she goes for the double E at level 1, which I do expect her to take, that is a good tool for interrupting. But aside from that, really, I mean, Cassia Q, not the most consistent, I would say, at getting these interrupts, because it is relatively short range and quite a narrow hitbox on it as well, so it's pretty easy to dodge out. So I think in terms of being able to delay, if that is a tactic that either team wants to take, I think Svens Angels may have a slight advantage there.
Indeed. Also, I'm going to be interested if we still see the Falling Sword, as Aviator mentioned earlier. Level 20 has been nerfed a little bit, and Blessed Shield is still a very strong engage tool. Yeah, I gotta say. So.
Yeah, I think I would lean slightly more towards the Blessed Shield as well. I suppose a lot of it depends on what ultimate they want to take for Jaina. If they do want the Ring of Frost, I think having that extra little bit of lockdown from Blessed Shield would be nice. But if they feel like they might need the AoE cleanse or just wanted to get onto that backline, then I think Falling Sword is a decent option here for sure.
Yeah, true. The self cleanse. Also, a lot of people still not using Falling Sword as a disengage tool or as a safe tool. We have seen that a few times, especially with the. Go ahead.
Leaping out, you just can't do it. You only leap in, you Falling Sword in, you Q in, you E in. You don't use them to disengage. They're only engage tools.
Yeah, E is for engage. D is for disengage for Johanna. That's big.
Yeah. I completely agree. Yeah, Imperious Qs must go forward only.
True.
What do you think, Samuel? I think no. It's good to have that Falling Sword disengage and a leap disengage as well, right?
I guess it is, but you generally don't want to use it. But on the other side, they're very short cooldown. If you look at it, like Falling Sword and Leap, they're both 60 seconds, 50 seconds cooldown, something along those lines. So it is definitely especially in the later set of the fight, staying alive and using a 60-second cooldown rather than being dead for 60 seconds is worth it, I would say, in the end. So definitely for the later game, but especially early on, it has to be taken into consideration when you need that cooldown. For example, your bubble is also one of those big things. It has a 2-minute cooldown, so you do want, sometimes you want to die and be 30 seconds dead rather than using it, so you have it later on for a team fight.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair point to make. Just looking at the teams here, I'm kind of wondering what build Cassia is going to go this game. Obviously, Q build is the standard these days, but it's been nerfed so often that I think I actually would like to see AA Cassia coming out here, especially into the Rexar Blaze. It's a pretty tanky front line, and when there's going to be multiple members around, having that splash damage from charge strikes at level 1, I think she could get a decent amount of value here. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. Do still expect to see Q, but who knows? I think AA Cassia might actually be a good shout here.
I agree, especially with
when you're Johanna and May, they have so many blinds.
Yeah, and then you also have like the Rex and Blaze on the opponent team. They're still very nasty engages, but it's not like in ETC you just power slides you. So it always comes down to who you are up to when you play those auto attack style. Like for example in ETC is really annoying because when you are in auto attack range, he can power slide you and knock you in and therefore kill you. And it is mainly the Rexa stun who is annoying. But on the other hand, like Junkrat traps can be eaten by your frontline, Blazestone can be eaten by your frontline.
Yeah, and once you get level 13, get the Alacrity, I think it's the name of the talent, where you get that extra range on your autos, which gets extended even further when you're at the full passive stacks. You can definitely outrange a Misha stun and probably have enough move speed to be able to avoid the Blaze. So it is something that I would potentially like to see from them here. And again, having Mei and Johanna 2 blinds on your team as a Cassia, that's the dream right there, especially when they're both such tanky frontliners who can peel for the Cassia as well if she gets dove upon. So I think blah 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 on the Cassia might have a bit of fun this game.
Indeed. It seems like we are ready to go in. So take it away, Aviator and Nos.
Yeah, looks like we're back into the game. Sorry for the pause, guys. There's a bit of technical difficulties going on here. So, Nos, the left side, who are they?
The left side are Svens Angels, with Blaze being played by Darhanis. Riskaka will be playing the Gul'dan, Rich on the Junkrat, Rudashu on Rexar, and Brightwing will be played by Sarang.
And on the right-hand side for HandsUp, it's Mei, played by Artanis, Johanna by Squeaky, Lucio by Calypso, Cassia, played by blah, 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 and Jaina, stuck in Waveclear Prison, it's Caesar.
Indeed, and it is going to be Q build coming out from the Cassia, so no real surprise there. Disappointing for me, but we do see Q build also coming out for Gul'dan. Not something we've seen a lot of recently. Usually it is either the E or W builds, but it is going to be Q on this occasion. Very easy to stack it, I think it's fair to say, against the enemy front line. But yeah, that's something I haven't seen for a while now.
No, I mean, you don't see much Gul'dan either, and as you mentioned, right, this is the one map where you do tend to see her a lot, but we do see a jet propulsion coming out from Blaze. So a little bit of back and forth going on in the mid lane now. Rexa obviously trying to harass Johanna on the way down, trying to deny some of that soak, but not going to work. Top side though, we see Calypso falling extremely low on the Lucio, 170 HP for him. Cassia needs to be careful though as well. Eats all of those shots of corruption, but does get a few stacks for it in return. 8 stacks v 9 stacks on Qs now, but blah blah blah, gets stunlocked by the Misha. But Ruzashu isn't able to find the kill. And now Jaina looks like she's in trouble. But now so many people on the red team falling lower and lower.
Yeah, so much fighting going on in this first minute of the game. You love to see it. It bodes well for the rest of this game. On Tomb of the Spider Queen, map number 3 in this best of 5. Both teams currently sitting on 1 map win. We are essentially moving into a best of 3 between these teams now. We do see HandsUp moving down to this bottom camp, where Cassia is trying to get some damage down onto it. Misha will scout it out, but not in time. So this is going to be the first camp of the game taken over by the side of HandsUp.
Yeah, nicely played for them. Now we see mid lane, Jaina just trying to clear it up. Not going to get stunned in front of the gate. Surely you don't die behind your gate. Okay, that was very close.
Yeah, nice damage coming down. Caesar does manage to walk away for now. Blah, blah, blah has actually stayed down here with the Cassia. I think it's actually a decent shout for them. Not only do they get some good push in this bottom lane, but it's pretty easy to stack your Q when there's 3 bodies down here. And she's already sitting on 15 stacks at level 3. That is pretty nice for the Cassia.
Yeah, 15 stacks, 2 minutes in is very, very nicely played by them. Now, Blaze is going to have a bit of trouble dealing with the Lucio here, and that's exactly why. Lucio just harassing them, but obviously Momo on the Brightwing able to teleport to Darhanis.
Yeah, it was some good counter damage coming out from the Gul'dan as well, making it very difficult for Jaina to step up and do any damage onto the Blaze. Blaze, meanwhile, does find a big stand onto Artanis. Mei dropping super low. The tank is going to be able to walk out for now, and Calypso is nearby to try and get that HP bar ticking back up again.
Yeah, Calypso just being that nuisance. I feel like Lucios are just mosquitoes. They just fly around the map, they're just buzzing, they're harassing you, they're booping you. They're just so... It's just the dismounting thing about them. They just appear on your screen, dismount you, and then run off. And it's just so frustrating.
Yeah. They should make a mosquito skin for him, really, with that little...
Yeah, I really despise them.
Yeah, Overwatch heroes, am I right? Absolutely disgusting. As we do see HandsUp making their move over towards the Bruiser camp. They are with the Jaina and Lucio going to be able to take that pretty quickly. We do see both teams now approaching the point where they have the 50 gems to turn in if they so desire. I'm wondering if either team will go for an early turn in or if they want to hold on for theirs. Obviously, later Web Weavers are more valuable in terms of the damage that they deal and the amount of HP that they have. They do scale with time, but that does come with the risk of holding on to them rather than trying to just get the value of turning them in immediately.
Yeah, so camp in the mid lane now. So it will create some pressure as well. And wonder whether they'll try and push for it or try and pressure other lanes, because it does force a rotation. But the good thing is about this Blaze main tank is they have so much wave clear.
Yeah, so much wave clear. Gul'dan, obviously, he is probably the fastest wave clear in the game. So much reliable wave clear as well. And he did go for Consume Soul at level 4 too. So having that instant kill onto a minion if one does manage to survive his Q, which is currently sitting at 26 out of 30 stacks. So he's nearly getting that increased radius that he will get from the level 1. And Red Team Web Weavers have been turned in, so HandsUp getting first blood in terms of the objectives, as we are still yet to see first blood in terms of kills.
Yeah, I like this play from the blue team though. They decided to give it, but they tagged their camp just before, so this will help them with the defense as well.
Yeah, pretty classic defense for the first objective. We do see a lot of scuffling in this mid lane, but it's tank versus tank action, so probably not going to see too much. Calypso once again getting away with less than 200 HP. This seems to be a bit of deja vu from the early start of the game. And a huge storm coming out from their hands, and the boop is there from the Junkrat as well. And blah 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 is falling super low. And that is going to be the first kill of this game. Cassia will fall. So good response from Svens Angels to help nullify this first turn in from HandsUp.
Yeah, it was a great jet propulsion into Misha Stun, into Junkrat Boop, and the displacement there on Cassia. Cassia's no chance to survive there. No high fives just yet. I wonder if this should be a high five game, I think. I don't think Sound Barrier does anything here, so I think we'll get high five just to try and cleanse the stun locks down.
I suppose you have the option of high five or falling sword is another option of being a kind of AoE cleanse. So they do have two options there. Going for both, I think, would be a little bit much, but we will see how they opt to do this. Level 9 for both teams now, both about a full level away from those level 10s. Looking across the board, pretty standard talents, I think, from pretty much everyone, apart from obviously that Gul'dan, who is going for the Q build, which we don't see too often, but Bound by Shadows at level 7 is a nice pickup for him, going to help with the amount of DPS he's going to be able to deal in team fights.
Squeaky, though, is now going to be the focus in the bot side, but obviously blah, blah, blah was sneakily doing the camp yet again. So HandsUp, they've been prioritizing this bottom lane. Every time that camp's up, they're just rotating down and they're securing that camp as well, trying to put some pressure on them. But the boop comes out onto Lucio. Polymorph connects as well, but there's going to be the Valkyrie now. Level 10s hit, connect, and that's going to be a dead Junkrat. Snowball, meanwhile, Avalanche comes out onto the Gul'dan as well, and Gul'dan is going to be the next one to fall. Brilliant 2 quick kills for HandsUp, locking in those level 10s.
Yep, getting that level 10 advantage and immediately putting it to good use. Fantastic Valkyrie coming in to help secure the kills, and with both GPS down and a turn-in available, there should be an easy turn-in for the team in red.
Yeah, pay in. Caesar needs to pay with 22 gems. But now we're going to have Sarang already back here on the Brightwing. Teleports up to Blaze as well. Just want to try and help those interrupts. Now, Jaina, topside, needs to be a bit careful.
Yeah, with 22 gems on her, losing the Jaina right now would be pretty painful. So Caesar wisely taking a pretty safe rotation. He's going to try and maybe get a turn in on this bottom side. Squeaky is brawling with the Misha though, so it should be able to spot this out. And in fact, it looks as though Svens Angels are trying to get a turn in themselves on the top side of the map.
Yeah, there's the high five as cleansing them out. So yeah, it is going to be a high five with that falling sword. And Jaina did secure the pay-in on the bot side with those 17 gems necessary.
Yeah, so back-to-back turn-ins for HandsUp. This is where we can see the snowball trying to come in, but when you look at the amount of wave here that they have, big engage. The Valkyrie does go wide for now, but now Calypso is driving super low, and the Riptire is there, and yet again, Lucio surviving with less than 200 HP. This must be getting quite frustrating for Svens Angels.
What a great high five there. They high five through the fear. So they high-fived through the Horrify. And there's going to be a big avalanche connecting onto 2, but it's going to be Misha and a Junkrat, but Junkrat is going to go down. There's going to be the bunker on the ground as well for Blaze, trying to keep them alive. Zashu is in the bunker. Huge jet repulsion connecting onto 3 people, and now Gul'dan trying to put up that damage. But yeah, Shara Calypso there, the high-5, cleansing the Horrify on himself and on the Jaina was just so clutch.
Absolutely huge play coming out. And they say supports aren't playmakers in this game. Calypso proving that absolutely wrong. The mid lane Webweaver has been dealt with, but in the top lane, the fort has gone down, as has the bottom lane structure. So good second turn in for HandsUp. They are now very close approaching their level 13 and in a pretty comfortable position in this game, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. They're in the driving seat. But Tomb of the Spider Queen, as Samu mentioned, as long as you've got your gems, you've always got a chance. And as long as the blue team, Svens Angels here, as long as they don't lose all their gems, because that's when I think you just mentally boom, right? Imagine if you got wiped there, you lost 150 gems or something, you just go next.
Yeah.
You're already planning your draft for game number 4 at that point. But as long as they hold on to their gems, they're going to be just fine. Yeah,
and they do have enough for 2.5 turn-ins at this point of the game, so definitely have a way back into this game, whereas HandsUp currently 30 gems away from getting another turn-in for themselves. And obviously, with top lane and bot lane structures both being taken, the waves are going to be pushing away for them. So that is one slight bit of respite for Svens Angels that they probably won't have to face against a turn-in anytime soon. They might even hold onto their own gems for a bit, again, trying to scale up. Let those web weavers become more powerful and get level 16, which is a huge power spike for Gul'dan. And again, if they turn in now, it's going to alleviate a lot of the map pressure, but it is also pushing gems back towards HandsUp, who have their eyes on this boss.
Yeah, it's a very quick decision, and I like it. They've got a lot of burst damage onto it. It's not going to be scouted out by the blue team. I think they're sort of realizing now, obviously, the pay-in, and they're going to see the boss pit. But it's a nice decision by HandsUp. Just quick heads-up play.
Yeah, I really like this call. As I said, they weren't going to be able to stoke any gems. All their lanes were pushing, but that also means that Svens Angels have to defend those pushing lanes. They use the opportunity to take this boss, which will nullify a lot of the push from this top lane web weaver and give HandsUp plenty of time to rotate to this mid and bot lane to try and alleviate this web weaver push.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying if you're on the side of Svens Angels here. It's like you just got your first pay-in of the game, and now you got to spend your time clearing up the boss.
Not ideal in the slightest, but a silver lining for them, they are very much still in this game. Level 14 apiece for both teams. And again, this is going to do just kind of alleviate some of this pressure. It means that their waves are pushing out a little bit more. It helps them get a little bit more vision onto the map, which is so crucial on Tomb of the Spider Queen. That's why I think you see a lot of the time teams will focus on the mid lane in particular, is it just provides so much vision pressure. And the fact that they've managed to keep their mid lane for it is going to be very helpful for them. And they even have a bit of a push with this top lane web weaver as well. Getting the front wall down. It is a very, very big wave. Probably not going to be able to get a fort here, but if they can keep the enemy team busy, maybe that web weaver will be able to get some structure damage done.
Yeah, but Avalanche misses. Unfortunately, there's going to be the high five trying to keep them all alive. The Falling Sword comes out as well, cleansing the Horrify again. Horrify is not yet connecting here, but there's going to be stun on to Squeaky. Squeaky falling lower and lower. Gets got the blind off, trying to keep himself alive. Looks like Squeaky will be fine. The high five comes through as well from Calypso, and the red team, HandsUp, will be able to disengage just fine. But again, the Horrify's cleansed. This is so good so far from HandsUp. They're just cleansing all of the ults, basically.
Yeah, very difficult for Svens Angels to get and engage outside of that as well, I would say, considering the amount of self-cleanses that we have between a Mei and the Johanna, the fact that Johanna is falling sword and there's the high five, so difficult for them to find and engage, but they have gotten their second turn in. Getting the back-to-back will help them probably get a bit of pressure down onto this mid and bot lane fort. Mid lane, the front wall is already down, and that is exactly where that web weaver is going to spawn, which means that there is a big pressure coming down on this bottom lane. Nice engaging once again from Tarhanis on the Blaze. He's going to drop pretty low though, and Sarang has to use the Zed to come in and help out her tank.
Yeah, Valkyrie connects though onto Blaze. Is a huge Valkyrie, like absolute peak range, and that's going to be a lot of gems on the ground as well. And now they're going to chase him down. The root connects from Jaina here. There's a Falling Sword chasing down Momo. Momo's going to be next to fall. Rich booping himself away to safety as Lucio not able to catch them up. But yeah, 2 great kills for HandsUp, and that's got a lot of gems on the deck now as well.
It certainly is. An absolutely huge Valkyrie coming in from blah, blah, blah. Bunker was 3 seconds away, so wasn't able to save himself. And Darhanus did fall, losing a lot of gems. And just from there, the fight snowballed so well for HandsUp. They have so many tools to run the enemy team down if they do get ahead. Lucio being able to speed everyone up, Jaina being able to slow everybody down, and then, as you saw,
they want to go for Rich here, but Rich does have his mine available, but can't press it in time, and does get taken down. Nice pick off there by HandsUp again.
Yeah, and that does mean that there are now only 6 gems on the side of Sven's Angels. It's a very difficult position for them as they are looking to try and maybe get a turn onto this Mei. She is going to fall. Squeaky will go in and pick up her gems. Nice engage onto Darhanus on the Blaze, who does drop Bunker. Squeaky now sitting on a lot of gems and does get engaged upon. But again, high five coming out from Calypso to save his front line and make sure that they are keeping a hold of all 43 of those gems.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've got 10 gems against 96, though. It's a bit rough for Sven's Angels at the moment, but that kill does net them quite a lot of experience here. And they are going to try and chase down Squeaky. The jet propulsion connects. It's going to be a stun lock, and 42 gems.
Oh, that is huge for the side of Sven's Angels. Denying all of those gems means that HandsUp have basically gone from having nearly 2 turn-ins to not even having 1. So that is a crucial pick for them, and they've gotten themselves right back into what it was looking pretty sketchy, but they've gotten themselves back into a pretty decent position now, I would say.
Yeah, if you're listening into comms from Sven's Angels right now, you can hear one word probably is what they're saying, and that's winnable.
Winnable.
It's now winnable for them here as they dropped those gems, so they're even in gems almost at this point as well. Camp in the mid lane. They're only a level behind in experience. Level 20 is a risk, but it's still far enough away where you can still force your fight.
Yeah, Rampant Hellfire as well now for Gul'dan. This is a big power spike for Q build Gul'dan. Having the extra range that he gets from his level 1, getting the extra cooldown from hitting stuff at level 7, and now getting the extra damage whenever he hits his Q. So we'll be able to dish out some serious DPS if he can keep shelling away on this enemy team frontline. And that also will mean that he can be burning down these forts as well. Q build Gul'dan has actually excellent range on that level 1 quest. So is able to put some serious pressure onto structures.
Yeah, blue team, they are 19 gems away from a pay-in, but the red team, HandsUp, they do have a pay-in available for them. They just need to turn in those 26 gems.
Yeah, that
coming through to right lane, keeping Blaze alive. Jet propulsion comes out, not connecting, and now the root's going to come out from Jaina. Force pop the Unstoppable there, but dodged out on the Valkyrie nicely. But then meanwhile on the backside, there's going to be a back line. There's going to be a stun lock coming through. There's going to be a Horrify being used, but the Falling Sword is there, keeping them all alive. Artanis is good with their focus though onto the Mei. The high five trying to keep him alive. Gets through to the Boop, and Junkrat can't get the kill. No, he does. He's just kidding. Does get the kill, and Mei does go down. Sven's Angels, they're fighting back here in game number 4.
That they certainly are. Level 20s are here for HandsUp, so I don't think Sven's Angels are going to be able to chase get much more, despite the fact that they have that man advantage. Well, half a man, because Misha is unfortunately currently sitting in the graveyard. Blah, 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 trying to get the turn in for HandsUp, which would put them 1 away. Is my maths correct? No, it's not. I've put them 11 away. I can't do maths apparently. As we do see a nice engage onto Lucio, and Calypso will not manage to get to safety this time. Big kill coming out from Sven's Angels. They're looking to turn the screw.
Yeah, Rich as well is on the flank, looking for that engage. He's trying to get there with his mines, trying to boot, but Squeaky dodges out on it nicely.
Yeah, not a whole lot. Boss is available, and that is pretty much the only option that they have right now, as they do not have enough for a turn-in. That being said, they're only 1 wave away from it if they wish to go for that. They are going for this boss, though, maybe trying to sack boss and a turn-in, which, as we've seen, can be a fantastic tool. That being said, though, I think it looks like HandsUp are going to try and get a turn-in of their own to prevent this boss turn-in stack.
Yeah, so boss plus pay-in now available for them.
Greeky, though, looking for the turn-in on the bottom side. Who will get there first? It looks as though Johanna will just about get there. So HandsUp do deny this boss and objective double stack. A small mercy for them as they hope to defend their top lane keep.
Yeah, so it's a free defense now of the boss, but it does mean that they sacrifice their pay-in. Sven's Angels, they get them time to get 20. They're going to have a pay-in available to them when they're back. But this does buy HandsUp the time needed to just sort of recover.
And indeed it does. Level 20 as well. I think it's a pretty huge power spike for them. Getting the Haunt is absolutely huge. That being said, though, we do have Wintermute coming out from Jaina, and we've all seen how powerful that can be, as well as, of course, Heaven's Fury for Johanna. It was nerfed this patch, but it's still so powerful.
Yeah, Engage coming down onto Blazer, baiting the Unstoppable. The Valkyrie comes through, connects onto the Brightwing here, but they can't get the Stunlock. There's going to be the big Falling Sword keeping them all alive, but cleansing out the fear as well. But now the Stunlock comes down onto May, but Falling Sword yet again comes out, and there's going to be another Falling Sword available, and there is another one as they get another kill onto Gul'dan as well. And now Artanis wants to go in. Lucio trying to boot them around. There's going to be this Avalanche connecting, but only onto Brightwing. Kind of saving the Brightwing, you have to suggest as well.
Nice guy, May there. Artana's doing his bit to help Peta out. That being said, top fort is down, and the top keep is taking some serious pressure. This Web Weaver will not get too much more, but with Gul'dan down, that is a good bit of a clear unavailable now for Sven's Angels. The Hands Up have their eyes on this keep, and it looks like they are going to secure the first tier 2 structure of the game.
Yeah, they get the first keep of the game down. We are approaching 19 minutes in game. 6 minutes until it's another 25-minute banger.
Which is all we've come to expect from these teams this evening, as we do now see Hands Up moving over to try and steal away this Bruiser camp, turning available for Sven's Angels, but not for Hands Up. This game is perfectly in the balance at this stage of the game.
Yeah, it's a very, very close game at present. Gul'dan is back in 1 second. There he is, respawning now. So you'd expect Hands Up to probably play a little bit more passive now.
Yeah, they're quite far away from a turn-in. Boss is not available for 2.5 minutes, so realistically, they don't have a win condition open right now, other than just trying to keep Sven's Angels from getting a turn-in while they try and build up those gems for themselves. But 35 gems, with their lanes pushing it, is going to be pretty difficult for them to get that. So unless they can get a team fight, I don't think Sven's Angels are going to be feeling that much pressure right now.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is where Sven's Angels are the ones that have to force now, and Hands Up are definitely the more patient team. They're more experienced as well in that sense. They've been here before in this position. So, yeah. But Sven's Angels, as long as they get their pay in here, it's all to play for. Rich is the one with the solo pay in. They need, and Razashu as well. They just need 20 gems, one of those two, to get the pay in.
Yeah, it will be difficult for them to get that turn in, though, I think. When you look at how pushed bot lane is, now this big push coming in the mid lane, top lane is also going to be pushing away from them. We can see there's a slight minion misadvantage there, so it is going to be very difficult for them to find any room to turn in. Just there's so much vision for Hands Up anytime anyone wants to get that turn in, and they're slowly ticking up towards the 65 themselves. We do see Johanna sitting on 26 here. Squeaky probably has a chance to turn in now. It looks like they're not going to try and get them in just yet, as we do now see Sven's Angels looking to try and get a turn in of their own.
Yeah, but there's that Lucio, there's that Mosquito just running around. Nothing makes me happier than when Lucio's like that just get clapped, right? Blaze predicts the stun, and you just see Lucio disappear 100 to 0. That's the best feeling ever. But we're going to see an engage coming down to May. The high five comes through as well, cleansing it out, cleansing it through the Junkrat boot. But now we're going to see the rooted balls coming up. The high five is there again, cleansing out onto the Cassia. Riptire comes through. This is the level 20 upgraded Riptire, remember? So CDR per person hit needs to hit, but it just gets deleted.
Ooh, Caesar coming in with the clutch combo there to kill the Riptire. Squeaky does manage to get the interrupt onto Rich. A big clump, and that's going to be feared for days. Not managing to secure the kill just yet, though, as Artanis gets away on so little HP. The Valkyrie comes in, but Jaina manages to get the double kill.
Oh my god, Jaina with the turnaround, that falling sword yet again. Oh my god, Hands Up. That's disgusting.
That is utterly disgusting, and with catapults coming in on this top lane, they have their eyes set on the core. 3 members moving, make it 4, and this is probably going to be game number 3 going over to Hands Up, unless there's an absolute miracle defense for Sven's Angels.
Incredible, the polymorph comes through. Rich is on his way back. He's paying and then coming back, but I think the pay isn't going to help anything here, and I think this core is undefendable, and this is going to be GG, well played. Hands Up, they take the lead for the first time, 2-1 in this best of 5.
What a series we have had so far, and this is going to keep on going. Give me game 5. Please, though, can we get at least one shorter game? Because I'm running out of breath here as we have another, 23-minute game or something? These teams, they're getting into the late game every single time, which is, it's fun to watch at least. Even
That
if
was the first game that, I don't know, it didn't feel as close, even though it really was. But it just didn't sort of. I know HandsUp did lose part of the lead, etc., but it just felt like they always hung on. You know, them getting the pay in to freely defend the boss and pay was a really big moment in the game, because had the Svens Angels with their comeback got boss plus pay in running it down top, that could have been a completely different ending to this game.
Yeah, I think looking at the first 2 games, it seemed as though Svens Angels have this game plan of kind of just, let's get some multi-target lockdown and just blow someone up. And this Lucio adaptation from HandsUp coming in and having these high fives, so clutch. And Clips, I think, was MVP for me in that game. So many clutch saves with the high five, and it's a fantastic adaptation from HandsUp as they take the lead in this series.
Anu, thoughts, concerns?
It has been, again, even though you say was not a close game, it was Tomb.
You're muted in Discord.
It was Tomb in the end, so we did see a lot of moments where the teams did just stand around, just waiting for some gems to turn in, which kind of broke my heart. But in the end, they gave us some great team fights, especially Johanna with that Falling Sword, cleansing her team of those horrifies, as you mentioned, Aviator. And just those plays are already things which make it huge to see those teams, the coordination of them going into this series. But we also keep in mind it's 1 hour from now. We do have Division 2, which might get a little bit delayed if we go into game number 5 here. But for now, let's see into the map screen. As we do have for the next game, we do have Svens Angels. They lost the last game, so they've just been map pick and first pick, and they decided to go for the first pick for the first time. So we do have map choice on the side of HandsUp. What do you expect out of them, AV?
I think it could be Dragonshire. I think Dragonshire could be the pick here for HandsUp. It's a map they love. It's a map that they have these like weird rotations, etc. Or not weird rotations, but just different rotations. The way they play Dragonshire is just different to most teams around their level. So I think they could really force an uncomfortable position from Svens Angels here.
Yeah, they have picked Dragonshire on 5 occasions this season, which is their most picked alongside Battlefield of Eternity, whereas look at the other maps which are available. Cursed Hollow, they haven't played it at a single time all season, and Volskaya, they've only picked once. Despite the fact that they've played it 6 times and have won 5 of those 6 occasions, they've only picked it on the 1 occasion. So I do think Dragonshire is probably the more likely one, as well, as we do see them locking it in. So good call, Avi.
Yeah, people Wales. So we go to Dragonshire. Yeah, as I mentioned, they like unusual stuff. Sylvanas is one of their big picks on Dragonshire. They like they like pushing and prioritizing top lane a lot with the Bruiser camp. That's something that they do quite often. Svens Angels, I haven't watched too many of their games this season. I watched quite a lot of the earliest games, but I feel like they only sort of really gelled sort of the second half of the season, which I didn't tend to watch them too much. So what do you think you're going to see from Svens Angels?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. The one thing I think we can expect to see either getting picked or banned is that Rexar again. Obviously, Rexar are very much a comfort pick for them, and we know how powerful Rexar is on this map in particular. So I would like to see maybe a ban coming out for that. But if it's let through, I'm always happy to see a bit of Rexar. It's a fun hero to watch.
Indeed,
Hanzo is another one I think that we actually have to look out for as well. Hanzo again, empowering rotations on this map, getting the vision control around that triangle of death can be very, very useful here.
Talking about Rexa and Hanzo, it's also a map where like having control around those objective points is huge. So we do often see a Junkrat for the bottom point, for example, because he just throws down those traps, throws down those mines, and it's just a rough time getting into those points. So also Hanzo, for example, as you mentioned, has been great, just throwing in a scatter, doing a lot of damage. Chromie, always a thing you're not allowed to forget on this map as well. So yeah, if, as you mentioned, HandsUp enjoys to play around top side, it might be interesting for the side of Svens Angels how they will respond with the offlane. If they go for the Rexa, which they're pretty comfortable on, he might struggle as he has some issues clearing out those bruiser camps early on in the game. So maybe a Lyric or something would be better for them. So let's see what they go for, therefore.
Yeah, I completely agree. Junkrat as well is obviously a big factor to mention. Do you think we'll see it banned after last game? It was very annoying.
I sort of hope so, just for the main reason of maybe Rega being left open. Even though I don't believe it will be, but I hope for Rega to make an appearance also in game, not only just the bans.
Yeah, we haven't seen any double support comps yet either from either of these two teams. So I wonder if this is the map. This is tournament life now for Sven's Angels.
Yeah, well, on Wednesday they did pull out a double support draft with Hanzo as the main carry, and I think it was. They definitely had Rhaegar in there. I can't quite remember. It was Anduin was the other support, actually. And again, going for this, like, Anubra Cocoon, Light Bomb, Hanzo Arrow, just CC chain. So wouldn't be surprised seeing them pulling out something like that again. The other hero, actually, just in general, we haven't seen too many globals yet in this series. Granted, we have been playing on the kind of smaller maps, but I think globals can play a huge part in Dragonshire. I would maybe like to see something like a Tahaka as well, which I know, Samuel, you'd probably like to see as well. But yeah, I think global play can be something that I would like to see both teams opting into as well.
Yeah, C06 did first pick Falstad on Sky Temple, and they utilize this double global with Dahako as well. So they do like playing around with it. Obviously, if you early pick a Falstad, it does open the door for a Genji, a Zeratul, particularly on Dragonshire as well. Genji, Zeratul, really annoying. You've got they can soak mid, and they just dash to top, dash to bot. They're everywhere on the map.
I feel like the main reason we didn't see so much double support so far is the two of the main healers which you sort of need for that would be either Rhaegar to sort of take over a little bit of the offlane role and get the wave clan there as a healer, or the Uther who can be used as a tank in some ways and help out there. And as those two has been banned pretty much most games, I feel like this is the main reason we did not see the double healer so far. Is you rarely see like a Lucio Aurel or Lucio Anna or something along those lines of double support. You kind of want to have a lot of CC on one of those, or have a lot of wave clear, so they can either take over the offlane or just help out in general with the correct control you have.
Yeah, absolutely. Curious to see what they do around top lane, because obviously Rizashu will be looking to lock in that Rexar if it'll be banned out against him early. Obviously, they do have first pick as well. I mean, the first pick thing, sometimes it's better to not have first pick, isn't it? There's so many things you want to first pick on the map like this. You want top lane, you want an anchor for bot, you want a good mid lane, you want tank rotation, you want vision control. It's just everything you want on D-Shire.
On the other hand, having the second pick on Dragonshire, so it means that the very last pick can also sometimes give you the advantage with just being able to have the soul laner react to your opponent if they keep it for a very late moment, and then have just the advantages offlane matchup into your favorite, and or at least knowing, hey, they have a Brightwing, I have to be careful, I have to pick something safe in the offlane to make sure I'm not getting killed by a gank.
Yeah. The other thing, I suppose, is like if there are, say that there's 3 very high priority picks in the draft phase, then giving up first pick and knowing that you're getting 2 of those 3 high priority picks can be very useful. And so far in this series, I think we've definitely seen Hanzo as being a priority pick for both teams, and then kind of just getting a beefy front line has been a big emphasis for both teams. But we will see how they go about this draft as we get ready for the 4th game here on Dragonshire between Svens Angels and HandsUp.
Indeed.
So, game number 4. This is all to play for now. HandsUp win this one, it's over. Svens Angels win this one, and then I need a coffee before we get into the final map. But Sammy, what do you think we're going to get here? What bans? Do you think we're going to see anything different?
I think we're gonna see the Rhaegar again. I feel like the Stukov is a must ban, Junkrat as well, and then probably the Maiev.
Based on how the rest of the series has gone, I think that is a pretty safe expectation to make. And again, yeah, Junkrat raising very high on priority on this map in particular, so I do expect to see him removed. And considering HandsUp have been removing Rhaegar every single game, I think it does put pressure on them, and it means that Svens Angels can let it through.
In the meantime,
we
also have betting setups, exclamation mark, bet A, think Svens Angels will bring us towards the game number 5 or exclamation mark bet B in the number of points you want to put on hands up if you think it's going to be a 3-1 victory for them.
Yeah, you can wait until the draft, or you can just show your team's love early on as well. I prefer waiting for the draft usually. That's my kind of thing, especially for these two teams. I think drafting it's been so good for these two teams so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Lucio.
I love this adaptation. Again, those high fives last game from Calypso were so clutch. So it does mean that Junkrat is open, and I do expect to see Svens Angels taking that early. Other options would be maybe something like the Johanna or the HandsUp.
Yeah, there's a Nubrak, there's Johanna, there's Hanzo, there's Rizashu's pick as well. I can't think what it's called. Rexar.
Yeah, a lot of options there.
I know, this is the point. So much to think about now for Svens Angels. But it's going to be the Hanzo. Okay. So they've committed now. So Johanna is going to be locked in here. Oh no, they're going to see Nubrak.
So looking to deny that combination of Hanzo and a Nubrak, which has been so effective for Svens Angels all throughout this playoffs run. So I like this adaptation from them, and it will be interesting to see now where they put their Hannes. Will it be the Blaze again, perhaps? Blaze a decent response to a Nubrak as well. I think it's fair to say Bunker can be a good saving tool. But before then, we need to see where HandsUp are going to take us. And they're going to go for Karazim.
And that's a very interesting pickup. Karazim has not been something people looked at so far. But he's very strong on Ranger. He has those engages. He has the mobility to jump in. He can help out a lot with chems. And he brings in a lot of damage on rotation alone. So just Anub and Karazim rotating towards an offlane is already tons of damage, which can threaten the soul lane and give him a kill.
Yeah, Karazim very strong in terms of skirmishes when it's 2v2s and 3v3s, which is why he's seen more on Dragonshire than any other map, because this is a map which is all about skirmishing. It's very rare that you get these big 5 versus 5 engagements. It's a lot of the time 2v2, 3v3, and this is where Karazim really shines. We are going to see Tarhanus on the Blaze once again, and it is going to be Tahaka for Rizashu, opting not to go for the Rexar on this occasion, but playing for a more bottom lane focused draft by the looks of things.
I also feel like the Haka is safer against ganks compared to Rexar. Yes, Rexar can stand in his wall, especially early on, but as soon as he loses parts of his wall or even the fort, he's gonna be in big danger. As Anubis and Karazim, they can just walk into his face and kill him.
Ooh, they banned the Sylve. They've done their homework. Because this is a comp that they would love to run. Is the Sylvanas as well to push out top. So.
Spicy. We're getting a Kerrigan.
We're back to Team
A. You don't believe in the blah 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 Kerrigan, no?
No. I do not. Let's go, Svens Angels. Let's take it to a 2-2.
I'm a former Kerrigan OTP, so I'm going to bet on bet B because my queen has been picked. It's also a pretty nasty CC chain and blow-up comp that they have between Anubrak and Karazim. If they make these rotations towards the top side of the map, Ritsu is going to have to be very careful with his burrows in order to avoid these ganks. It is going to be Cassia and Anduin to round out this draft for Svens Angels, only waiting to see what this last pick is going to be from HandsUp.
It has to be something wave clear, I guess.
Yeah.
Jaina again, honestly. Jaina pairs really well with the Kerrigan. You've got the blow-up combo as well that you need then, the burst damage, the wave clear. She fits all.
It just feels like this time Svens Angels, especially with the Blaze, they have something... they have a better team to engage into with the Blaze, and it is the Zagara.
Zagara's in... I wasn't expecting to see Zagara. I'm going to put it that way.
A really nice draft, though. I quite like it.
I feel like no one expected the Zagara.
Well... Okay. Well, there's the drafts, guys. Make sure you get your bets in. I think, I don't know. It depends on the Zagara is really annoying to deal with. Obviously, you've got all those little, little things everywhere just harassing you.
I think if this game goes late, I definitely favour Svens Angels. They definitely seem to have the side of scaling, but just the early game pressure that Anubrak, Karazim, and Kerrigan can put out. It is going to mean that they can potentially get the snowball rolling, and if they do, then Zagara being able to... setting up with the Nidus network into a big engage. I mean, sorry, not Nidus network, the Devouring Maw into a big engage. It is definitely a scary prospect as we get to head into game number 4 between Svens Angels and HandsUp. On the left-hand side, in the blue corner, once again, we have Svens Angels with Rich on the Hanzo, Rosashu on Dahaka, Sarang on Anduin, Riskaka on the Cassia, and Darhanis on the Blaze.
And mixing it up, we've got HandsUp on the right-hand side with Karazim, played by Calypso, Nubrak by Artanis, Squeaky on the Urel, Caesar on the Zagara, and blah, blah, blah on that Kerrigan. All B-stepping.
Oh, spicy.
3, 2, 1. Let the battle be.
Zerg Diff. Yeah, this is the Queen of Blades, is it?
Queen of Blades indeed, with the Broodmother alongside her. But we do have a Zerg on the other side as well, as the Haka is here. No surprise to see him taking enhanced agility at level 1. This has become the standard pick. That being said, though, I don't think going for the... actually, maybe she could be in a little bit of trouble here. He does sniff something and is going to take the safer rotation. Manages to get up to the top lane.
Mans just walks past. Actually drags Squeaky into the power as well. Okay, so Nubrak's going to maybe burrow over. Yeah, burrow charge comes out, misses unfortunately, but Kerrigan combo is available. That dodges out nicely by Rosashu. This is what I meant. They've wasted quite a lot of time topside. They're going to miss a wave of soak for it here, I think.
Yeah, looks like it. But early game, of course, minion XP, not too much of a significance just yet. Darhanis now with a nice double stun onto Squeaky and Artanis, but not enough damage to kill that front line just about yet. We do see HandsUp are going to move over and take an early bruiser camp, try and get some more pressure into this top lane and make it as difficult for Dahaka to lane as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So we saw this bruiser camp being taken it a little bit slowly with Karazim and a Kerrigan. I feel like they've been on that for a while, but there it is, taken now, going to be pushing out on the top side. And this is what I mentioned, they've just got Zagara bot to try and anchor. They've got Urel to rotate mid and top, double soaking, and they're going to prioritize top lane.
Yeah, I do actually like the adaptation of taking the Zagara. Junkrat was open though, wasn't it?
It was. Actually, Junkrat was open for both sides. Combo connects, they wanted to hack. It's going to be the burrow charge as well. Damage coming out, but they're not able to get any kill.
Not going to get a kill, but they should be able to get this front wall. That bruiser camp is still pretty healthy. Darhanis, though, has caught up and has a decent flanking position. Lands the stun onto only blah 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 on the Kerrigan. And we do see the Earth ally has already been dropped by the Karazim to help get his team away to safety.
Yeah, and now bot side, you're going to see Urel jumping over the wall. They might even be looking for Hanzo here. Hanzo just be trying to jump over. He's away. The stun not in time, and Hanzo able to jump out. You can always read the hands of this spamming D.
Yeah.
The roof is pressing one button.
It is probably the most broken key on every Hanzo's keyboard. Rich managing to jump away to safety. Good reactions from him. Caesar, though, getting a lot of pressure down. Calypso now with the rotation. Rich is tripping pretty low, but not as low as the Kerrigan, as first blood will go over to Riskaka. Cassia getting first blood for the side of Svens Angels. First strike to the team in blue. And they're looking for more.
And they get more. They take down Calypso as well. He's not on Lucio anymore. You can only press Q so many times. You can't dash around infinitely like on Lucio. So 2 quick kills for Svens Angels, and that means there's going to be a free invade on this siege camp.
Yeah, obviously death timer is still pretty short at this stage of the game, so I don't think we'll be expecting to see any objective captures just yet. And we do see top lane in control of the red team for now, and blue team have control of the bottom side of the map. Rosashu will, of course, make his way up to this top shrine and try and wrestle it back for his team, which is going to mean that both altars will temporarily at least be channeled by the side of Svens Angels, but with 5 members available for both teams, I don't see it being captured anytime soon.
No, 100%. Now we're going to see Kerrigan coming in with a flank, though. Dodged out on the combo nicely there by Momo. And now we're going to see the double root connecting as well. But it's a bow charge from Nubrak. Blaze pops his trait and he tries to keep it alive. The pull comes out and they're able to disengage nicely.
That they are. We do see now both teams trying to contest over this bottom shrine. We do, again, also the same in the top lane. Both laners are making to try and contest as much as they can. Blah, blah, blah. Trying to stack that level 4 quest. Trying to get more damage onto that cube. Level 7s are here for both teams. And it looks like they're happy enough to just back out for now and get more soaking in. Try and work their way towards level 10, which is when we will probably see this game really opening up.
Yeah, Svens Angels, they are missing a bit of soak in the mid lane continuously, but nice drag though onto Squeaky there. But into towers, I mean, Squeaky might go down, but the heal from Calypso!
75 HP, more than enough for Squeaky to stay alive. Is going to be forced to Hearth though, which will relieve a little bit of pressure that Rujashu is feeling in this top lane. This top tower though might be about to fall, as we do see now. A bit of a reaction from Svens Angels. They will send 2 members up, or at least just Anduin for now, trying to maybe get a pick onto Calypso, but Karazim sniffing that out and will back off.
Yeah, cheering chat. But it's a jump interrupted there onto Hanzo. Combo doesn't connect, but Rich still goes down. And that's going to be a big chunk of stacks now for Kerrigan as well. Obviously, killing a hero grants you 5 stacks.
Indeed. It's currently sitting on 12. 75, of course, the magic number where she will get that extra 50 damage, as well as the extra damage she gets from every stack in the meantime. Both channels currently being channeled by the red team. Squeaky doing her best on the URL to try and dissuade Ruzashu getting any of a contestation in, but Dahaka is going to be able to take that top back for now.
Yeah, level 10s, when they come in, you're going to start to see this, you know, the 7-sided strike from Karazim, the burrow, the CC setup. That's going to be lethal for topside.
Absolutely is. We do see Squeaky now taking a bit of damage. The rend from Raskaka not quite able to connect too much though. And of course, you're pretty tanky. Can just shake off that gank attempt for now. Level 10's just about to come in now. Hanzo is going to go down though. Nice gank coming in from Kerrigan. And that is going to give a bit of room for them to push into this bottom lane and maybe even look to get this first objective, as level 10's are now here for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's a good game so far. Both sides playing it well. Top side seems a little bit of pressure gone on the fort. Bot side, Zagara hasn't really left bot side. Zagara's made her home. She's happy here. She lives here now. And they're going to get the first Dragon Knight of the game.
A lot of creep in this bottom lane, which just gives Caesar so much pressure. The pressure enough for them to secure this first objective, as you mentioned. Currently hanging around the mid lane, trying to get a bit of damage done onto the towers, and while the rest of the team have their eyes focused on the 2 side lanes. Artanis, Calypso, and Caesar now trying to get this bottom turret down. They do have the cocoon onto Cassia, but it looks like they're not going to be able to get much of a follow-up there. Happy to just get some tower damage down and back out for now. Obviously, early Dragon Knights don't do that much damage, but shelling away still all the same in this mid lane.
New Burrow charging out, but it's going to get stun locked here now by the Blaze, but it's going to get healed up by Calypso just nicely there. And meanwhile, this Dragon Knight is still just right-clicking mid.
Right-clicking mid and has gotten the front wall down already, as well as about half of the fort, as we do have a pause. 3-2-3, as we have some apparently squeaky lag F.
Indeed, we do see some lags coming out from one person, apparently. Especially on the roll, that can be quite annoying as you have to charge up everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking at the build so far, we do see actually a Q-build coming out of Hanzo at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many stacks he's on 0 stacks at the moment, but I'm not sure how to check it. It looks like we're ready to go back into the game though, as both teams are ready.
Indeed, they are. In terms of Hanzo, he hasn't finished the 3 out of 3 yet on any heroes, but he's sitting on 2 out of 3 on Kerrigan, Yrel, Anubrak, and Karazim, yet to hit Zagara at all. So making decent progress all the same. Currently sitting on, 8 out of the 15 needed. So not too far away for Rich there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, bot side. I feel like, despite, you've seen HandsUp pressure topside quite a lot, but you haven't really seen Svens Angels counter pressure bot lane a little bit more than they should, perhaps. You've got bot camp available as well. I feel like once they showed top like that, maybe the call is to take bot camp and just pressure bot as hard as they do top. Because I think the sieging power, you've got Blaze. I mean, Hansa's not great, Cassia's not great, but look on the other side, you've only got Zagara that's the real sieging.
Yeah, very true. I suppose the one counter argument to that is just how much creep Caesar has around here, that anytime Svens Angels look to make a play around the bot side of the map, HandsUp are going to know exactly what they're up to and can then react by either coming down and making a rotation of their own or hard forcing on this top side, just because they have so much vision on the bottom side of the map. Vision which they are using in order to take this bottom bruiser camp.
Yeah, and bow charge coming out, the engage now onto Blaze. Double stun lock comes out as well. Seven-sided, there's the HandsUp arrow coming through, but unfortunately goes through. Combo doesn't connect either, but there's going to be seven-sided on the ground. There's going to be light bomb as well, but the bunker comes out, keeping Blaze just fine. Meanwhile, more was being used as well onto Razashu there as he burrowed in, looking for that drag. Can't connect it either. So, well played by HandsUp. They looked for something, didn't find it, and they just back out nicely.
Indeed. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Urel just soaking and pushing as much as she can. Squeaky should be able to get this first fort of the game, going down in the top side of the map. Oh, sorry, second, as they've already taken the mid lane. Taking top fort, I think, is a pretty undervalued structure in the HOTS community in general. People kind of tend to ignore top lane a lot in this map. And what I think the top keep isn't particularly worth all that much. Getting this top fort makes that top lane so long for this Tahaka that he is going to be struggling to find a place of safety for the rest of this game.
Yeah, his home has been ruined. I mean, Jet Propulsion misses it from Blaze, and now we're going to see Calypso and the Kerrigan coming down here. Kerrigan looking for that combo. Does get rooted, unfortunately, and just can't quite find it. Stun comes through. Combo is going to be there. Misses the combo. The pull's going to be there as well. The Sunside on the ground as well. Squeaky now jumping in. The Passio with the Ball's Lightning coming out, trying to disengage. Help. Hands to Arrow. Ooh, go. Bye.
Bye-bye, Arrow. Lots of ultimates being used for both sides, but nobody going down just yet. Johannes will have to use his E to safety, but Razashu has got a nice flank on the Sahaka, but maybe is a little bit isolated. He does get the tongue onto Artanis, but just as the Q comes out from Anubrak, so he is able to interrupt that stun himself.
Yeah. So, red team doing their hard camp now. They're just sort of, this is like the lull moment in the game where red team, HandsUp, they're aiming for level 16. Svens Angels, they're about a level, 3/4 of a level behind at the moment. So they do need to try and find some of that experience. And, with their waves being pushed in against them, they've got mid, they've got top, they can easily soak the lanes at least.
Indeed. 16 is just about here though for HandsUp, so maybe an opportunity for them to try and force something. That being said, not too many things that they can force on right now. Camp is up for them, but only on the friendly side. There has been a nice stun onto Squeaky, who will be rooted, but does have the ultimate available, so should be fine. And Artanis though in the back line, trying to get onto this Rich, who has to use the Dragon's Arrow for safety, but isn't going to be able to get out. Kerrigan securing the kill.
Yeah, and there's going to be the Maw coming down as well. It's going to be a dead Anduin. Cassia looks to be dead as she comes out of it here. The stun from Squeaky, the fist to the face from Karazim, and that's going to be 3 quick kills now. And Johannes might get interrupted here. Cocoon's going to come out.
Oh, big catch here. If they manage to kill this Blaze, it's going to be staggered deaths, which is the worst thing you can possibly imagine, as they have a Dragon Knight coming down on them as well. This bottom lane fort is going to fall. The mid lane Dragon Knight is already making its way towards this bottom lane, and this keep is probably not long for this world.
Yeah, I think this is a keep. Well, yeah, no, I think it is a keep gunner.
With the Zagara, but the fact that they have this Dragon Knight, 12 minutes into the game, it's not going to hit that hard, but they do have a pretty big wave pushing in as well, and another wave is about to come in and support this, so this keep is certainly going to fall. How much more will they be able to get with this Dragon Knight, though? That is the question. Razashu holding the flank for now, but isn't going to be able to find much, as there is just so much creep here, spotting out every rotation that Svens Angels try to make.
Yeah. I mean, HandsUp so far, though, they're playing a clean game. They're not all inting for the core either, which is nice to see. You love to see it. They're taking their composure. They're just playing it slow.
That they are. They're trying to get this front wall down in the middle lane. Again, just creating another point of pressure. Now, all 3 outer structures have gone, as well as this bottom lane keep. 2-level lead nearly for the side of HandsUp. They are in full control in what could be a game-winning and series-winning match on Dragonshire.
Yeah, I mean, they just need one big arrow from Rich. One big arrow that comes in from downtown, connects, follow up with Jet Propulsion, Cassia with that level 16 talent as well, and it's just lights out for HandsUp.
And this is something that we've seen Svens Angels consistently doing all season long. This seems to be their bread and butter. So if they can find this clutch engage, they will be able to get themselves back into this game. Level 19, though, for HandsUp. Ideally, I'd like to see Svens Angels trying to pick a fight before level 20s come in for HandsUp, because 20 is a pretty decent power spike for both the Kerrigan, the Urel, and the Anubrak, I would say. Even Karazim can potentially go get a lot scarier with his level 20 picks.
Yeah, but Svens Angels, they have to force something now. They really need to try it. But it's a bit risky from HandsUp. But this is the fight that Svens Angels need to take.
And easy days, an arrow does come out from Rich. Will only land onto the Anubrak, but that is probably going to be a kill onto the tank. Indeed, he does fall. Squeaky has to jump away to safety, but Ruzashu is dropping super low. The Dahaka does have the level 16 to get himself to speedy safety, as we do see the pull coming out from Anduin. This fight is not over yet, and Squeaky does jump away. It looks like it's just going to be a 1-0 in favor of Svens Angels.
There we go. That's what we needed from Svens Angels. A bit of life breathed back into them here. But the problem is they're still so far behind on the map. They just got to fix their lanes. Fix lanes, get some composure, siege bot, soak 20 somehow. Don't give DK, don't lose game. That's their game plan.
Yeah, ideally clear out some of this vision as well as Zagara is supporting for her team, because again, we can see the bottom side of the map is painted purple for HandsUp. They are in a very safe position there. Bruiser Camp is coming up for them. Do you expect that was what they are going to move to? Just again, create a little bit of pressure in the top lane, as we do see an engage coming in. Darhanis with a 3-man stun. Blah, blah, blah. Manages to walk away from there, but Darhanis is going to get counter engaged on him by the 7-sided. So much damage going down. The ball lightning goes in, but nobody is dying.
Squeaky though might die though. He's going to get silenced, and Squeaky does go down on that Urel. That's another quick kill here. HandsUp arrow does connect, but there's no follow-up damage there. I feel so bad for Rich. Hits the arrows finally, and then there's no kills. But they get another kill. That's going to let them come back experience. They're still 4v5.
Yeah, and they do manage to snipe away this Bruiser Camp as well, which will relieve a little bit of the pressure that they might have faced in this top lane. And they do get this top lane fort as well. Again, maybe at this stage of the game, the top lane fort not as valuable. And we do see, again, there's just so much control on the bottom side of the map for the side of HandsUp. But this will allow them to get just a bit more breathing room in the top lane, which should help them secure or dissuade the objective going over to the side in red.
Yeah, big jet propulsion. I honestly think this game's going to end with a big HandsUp arrow or a big jet propulsion, and one of the two then setting it up. 20 with the infinite balls as well. I feel like that's going to happen.
Indeed. They also have the double pull from Anduin now, which will be a fantastic tool for saving any of the engages that go down from this Anubrak Karazim. 20s are here. 20s are here. They have now decided to push into this bottom lane, try and, again, relieve a little bit of pressure while also opening up a win condition. We're approaching the later stages of this game where if you can get one Dragon Knight and get a kill with it, then all of a sudden, this is anybody's game to win.
So this is tense. So this is where both teams are going to start feeling a little bit tense.
100%. You can tell the teams must be feeling nerves. Both teams making very aggressive plays, trying to get these fights and catch their opponents off guard. Ruzashu on the Dahaka, always willing to get that Zed in, of course, to turn this fight around, but is trying to get some pressure on this top lane for now. Will relieve some pressure from his team by removing that top altar and turning it blue again. So no objective.
Oh, Darhanis is a bit caught in. You can see the venom coming out there from Zagara. And Darhanis actually just takes a huge amount. There's like corrosive saliva coming out at level 16. And now it's going to get stun locked. And
where did he go? The Blazer of Vala, because he just absolutely melted in a big counter engage there. Sarang having to pop the light bomb on himself, but that's not going to be enough to save the Cassia. Big engage coming in, and Rich has to jump away to safety. Sarang now on the Anduin is super isolated, as is this Dahaka, but the counter engage, the combo from Kerrigan a little bit too early. Essence pops from Ruzashu. He will burrow away, but it looks like it's just going to be a 2-0 for now.
Yeah, and Red Team want to go core.
They have the core in their sights with Cassia down and Blaze down. Can they make this 3-man defense? Ruzashu with the silence, but only onto one. And it is Squeaky who tanks that, but 5 members now hitting the core. Is this going to be the title-winning charge coming out from HandsUp?
Is this clownable, though, is the question to us. Is Urel with the ultimate? The Devouring Maw comes out onto that Hanzo. They need the kill, I think, on Hanzo. The Stunlock's going to be there, and Hanzo does go down. It's 5 seconds before Blaze. The core is falling, though. It's at 50%. I think HandsUp have done enough, and it looks to be over as HandsUp are crowned Division 3 champions.
Congratulations to HandsUp, securing it in a 3-1 victory. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen of Twitch chat, for HandsUp, your Division 3 champions.
Oh, I thought Svens Angels had it. I thought, I'm sad it didn't go to a best of 5 to the actual 5th map, but what a series it was.
What a series indeed. HandsUp and Svens Angel bring us towards game number 4, so this means we do even have time for a quick winners interview if the teams want to. But first of all, how did you guys feel about that series?
I mean, the 3-1 I think doesn't give justice to how close these games were. Every single map could have gone either way, but huge congratulations to HandsUp clutching it in the end with a pretty interesting comp. I never would have thought I've seen a Zagara getting pulled out here over the Junkrat, but it was absolutely huge. So much damage being dished out by Caesar. So a really nice pick, and congratulations to them. They should be very, very happy to be getting the finest metal, not even plastic anymore, that Heroes Lounge has to offer.
And Squeaky, he'll be very excited for his medal. They've wanted for ages. It looks like we're going to try and bring them on for a winners interview.
Very nice.
Indeed.
But yeah, the draft, you mentioned it, Noz. It was a unusual but spicy draft, and that's what we wanted to see. We saw very standard, and then they just busted it out for the Dragonshy.
If you're going to do it in any game, it may as well be the one that wins you the championship. So you love to see it. A spicy pick coming in the grand finals, in the game that decides the whole thing. And it works so well. 2 kills, 6 assists, and 0 deaths, and doing 20k damage more than anyone else in the game. So maybe people are sleeping on Zagara after we had that one patch where she was completely bonkers OP, and then she got really nerfed. But maybe she's actually better than people are giving her credit for.
Yeah, and I put my points on Team A as well, so I lost my points.
Ooh, big oof.
A bit annoying. Yeah, I think Zagara can work on a couple of maps. Braxis is one in the 4-man. Dragonshy, obviously. Volskaya as well, you see her occasionally because the poke. I mean, just at level 16, she just becomes so annoying. You know, you saw it at Blaze there, tanking too many roaches, and Blaze is just getting melted by it.
Indeed, and now we do have them here. Welcome, HandsUp.
Hello, welcome.
And congratulations, most importantly. You are the Season 16 Division 3 champions. How does that feel?
Hands up.
Really good.
Hands up.
Amazing.
Everyone put your hands up.
Hands up.
You guys must be relieved, right? Squeaky talking to you yesterday about it, saying that you've been practicing for it. You really wanted your metal trophy thing.
Oh yeah, we've been swimming like 3 days every single week since we got into playoffs. And we even got Justin from CCL to coach us. Shout out to Graffer for that, by the way. And we just put in a lot of effort, so it feels really good to actually improve as a team.
So you still got coaching, but how do you die 1v1 in on the first map? Talk me through that.
See, even though I get coached, I fucking suck. Okay. So I ain't. It's okay. It's just it's part of the plan. It's just.
But we fuck together.
Part of it. Yeah.
I guess hands up.
Right.
Caesar in the last game, he didn't die.
But before we get into any more questions, we also have a short second as the man, the myth, the legend himself is also here to congratulate you to your win. Patman, welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for having me on, as well as it's now time for the customary congratulations to our winning team. So the Division 3 Cup Finals this season are HandsUp. Congratulations to you. You're always a little bit worried when you go 2-0 up and then the opponents take one back. You never know what's going to happen, but you managed to hold it together pretty well there. Congratulations to you, and as a result of your fantastic victory today, you have earned yourself the right to the finest quality metal that Heroes Lounge can afford. That's right, shortly after this, I will be getting in contact with you in order to get your details so that each one of your members of your team can have one medal each. So congratulations for you for that, but of course, as always, we need to give a huge commiserations to Svens Angels in this case. Put up a good fight there, but it's always difficult to fall down at the last hurdle. But huge rounds of applause for that. I saw Noz also showing the amazing prize that you can win up on the stream too. So I won't say too much more other than to thank everyone who's been involved in the Division Cup today. I know it takes a lot of time out of your weekend and indeed the week, or indeed most of the year, in order to be able to put on such a league, and it's really fantastic to be able to see. So thank you to everyone behind the scenes who's able to make this possible. So without further ado, I'll pass it back to your very capable casters and Noz, who will then take it over from here. Thank you very much.
Classic. Get that dig into Noz.
He just jealous because I now have 2 Heroes Lounge medals and he doesn't have any. So.
I mean, he could just make one himself, couldn't he, if he wanted to? Anyway, guys, have you got any thoughts about your maps there? Were you worried in game number 2 on BOE? How close that game was? Any taunt misses as well?
Well, like I said in the chat, like taunt, it says taunt, it doesn't say kill. When you taunt someone, you don't kill them. So I felt like it was inappropriate.
You didn't even taunt, you just missed taunt.
No, but like you taunt at someone, you don't taunt in their face. It's like, especially during COVID, you don't want to spread those germs.
True. Social distancing, Garrosh. Okay.
Stay safe out there.
But
I think Squeaky has a quote that can describe that last BOE game.
Oh yeah, there's a quote. I don't remember who said it, but I think it was Cracknix. But BOE doesn't start until 2 keeps are down, right?
It was.
So
Cracknix, I think that said it.
So yeah, you just gotta believe, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, believe you did, and then after that was really the turning point, I think. But you gave us 3 25-minute absolute nail biters, and then obviously this game was a little bit shorter, but still, it still went to 18 minutes. All these games went to level 20v20. It was a really nice series.
Yeah.
Honestly, props to Svens Angels. Like, it was a really fun series, and they were really the underdog coming into this, and they really played well.
Yeah.
So
it takes 2 to tango.
As my question would be, when going into that game number 3 of yours, did you feel like you had everything in control?
Yes, we kind of did. We put in a lot of effort into planning as well. So we had our drafts mostly planned out for every single map that we expected to run into. The only problem we had that we would try to deviate too much from those plans and end up getting caught out because of that. But we managed to regroup.
Yeah, and the only reason Squeaky is able to say that so confidently is that we put in the work, and that's where you draw that confidence from. And yeah, so we knew as long as we stick to the plan and we do the same as that we have done throughout the season, the results speak them for themselves, and we can pull this off.
Good. Well, congratulations. It definitely showed all the hard work you put into it. Any questions from you, Noz?
I suppose this is your guys' 7th season competing in Heroes Lounge. What was it that made a difference this season compared to seasons gone by? Why do you think season 16 was when you finally managed to get your hands on these trophies?
There should be a joke about our last tank player.
Oh no!
I mean, when I'm an improvement, you know how bad it's gotten.
Oh, we don't police volunteer. That's
We'll have Swallet still. No,
Yeah.
so here's the thing.
He's actually been coaching a bit this season as well. So
Swallow's been coaching.
It's always good to have an outside view on what you're doing, right? Because when you're in the middle of it, you can be a bit blindsided by what you're doing, or you see more the mistakes of others, but not your own. Talking from experience, and so yeah, and I think even though you say we have been in the season for 7 seasons in Heroes Lounge, we had this weird thing that we always switched players or roles every single season for the first 4 or 5, and now we finally stuck with a role distribution that somehow worked, and so I think that's a key. Like last season, we had like a lot of plans. We made this just small adjustment, but everyone else stayed on their role, and that worked much better.
Yeah. Well, it definitely would. I mean, I was thinking back to your last final that I think I cast that one as well with Johnny Sins, and you lost that one 3-2, didn't you? And I think Squeaky wasn't there for that. Was that right?
We have to.
Yeah, this is the first finals I've been able to participate actually, and I think it's our third playoffs.
Yes.
Participation.
Well, there we go. Division 2 next season, and hopefully you can keep up the momentum.
Hopefully, we keep the players in the roles, but we now have to celebrate. There's a small party forming up in Berlin, I guess, and then we are gonna celebrate first, and then talk about next season, the upcoming days.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Maybe I could stay in the team after winning this time. Hi, Alexis. Just a reminder.
All right. With that said, any shoutouts from you guys?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, everyone gets a shout out, right? So I would obviously shout out Squeaky because, like you said, last final, he wasn't there, and I felt really bad about it, or like sad about it. We did have a good synergy with AFK for Coco. Shout out to them as well for that. But yeah, I think Squeaky is one of like in this dead game. If there is someone who puts in effort for some reason, right? I think it's Squeaky, and yeah, it shows, and I'm glad he has some metal to show for it and not only plastic.
Yeah, it's upgraded.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Any more?
Yeah, of course. Everyone else who supported us, like Kai, like my friends, my ex-teammates.
Cascon as well for subbing in, as well as Green Jesus when we needed him.
Yes.
He was there for us.
And also Swallowed.
Swallowed doing the good work, yeah. Also shout out to the chat for typing Caesar W, I guess. I don't know why or how this became a thing. I don't know how I have to thank for. I think it's you, Aviator, for some reason. Well,
possibly, yeah.
I mean, it's impressive how this caught on. I mean, sure, I will run it more often so you can spam in the chat.
Yeah. Shout out to Caesar for not giving us any Caesar W in the last game.
Oh yeah, I tried to run it, but I couldn't.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Bye.
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 So, Samu, there's another final today, is there?
Indeed, we do have Division 2 finals coming up in 7-8 minutes. So thank you, Aviator and Nos, for joining me. Anything you want to say now before you have to sadly leave?
I just want to say one thing. It was great casting with Nos. It's the first time that I've actually cast with him as well, I think. So it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a pleasure. And thank you for having us, Samu. That's it from me.
Yeah, and once again, a huge shout out to both teams for putting on a fantastic final. Commiserations to Svens Angels. But once again, congratulations to HandsUp, your Division 3 Season 16 champions. Hopefully you will have a nice evening of celebrations. And yeah, best of luck to both teams now competing in the Division 2 finals, which are coming up shortly.
Indeed, we do have entry parent fees against next critters in the top of Division 2. Sadly, Avi and Nos have to leave, but we've got 2 other casters coming in, which will join me here on this spot. So thank you everybody for watching. Don't go anywhere. We will be back soon with those Division 2 finals. Bye!
Hey.